Can't see anything wrong. Let's give you a steroid shot for the pain and send you to the lab for some blood work.
Tired of the runaround? How about trying a new approach? The holistic approach. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
80% of youth in Arizona don't drink, smoke, or use drugs. Want to know the reason why? It's you. Kids say not disappointing their parents is one of the main reasons they choose not to drink or use drugs. Visit talknowaz.com. Because while you might worry you aren't getting through, you are. Keep it up and stay up to date about the latest Arizona drug trends at talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Think for a moment about how much time you spend planning your vacation. Now, think about how much time you spend planning for retirement. Maybe it's time to change your focus. Maybe it's time to take a trip.
I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. My team of certified financial planners uses a target retirement income planning model, or TRIP. TRIP is an important tool which we use to evaluate investment strategies and lifetime income products. Then we use that information to determine the best strategy that could provide you with the financial security you seek and the peace of mind you deserve. Call Compact Asset Management at 1-800-388-9700 for your comprehensive, customized TRIP report with specific recommendations designed just for you. Call 1-800-388-9700. That's 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services member, FINRA SIPC.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, buddy, it's Tuesday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And I started out today thinking, hi, I'm having a pretty good day. You know, I started out today and not being worried about a thing, not a care in the world. It was National Pancake Day again, because I don't know, there's like 3 or 4 of them during the year. And by the way, I think IHOP has some specials if you're interested. But and then I get the word 2 different things. One, here in Queen Creek, there's some gun-toting madman running around outside, and they got him cornered over in a wash not too far from the house here. And so there's a lot of police activity and helicopters flying over and stuff like that. So, well, I got to worry about that. You know, some gun-toting crazy guy might bust into my house and try to get on air. It's, you know, it's not the first time it's happened. And the other thing is finding out that, you know, there's a new way they steal cars. Do you know about this new way?
No. What's the new way?
So what they do is they go up, and I don't know how it works, but they hold up like a big square antenna thing, right?
Okay.
And in the middle of the night, they sneak up to your front door and they hold it up, and it scans for your key fob inside. And basically it gets the code. And then they go over to your vehicle because then they program another fob, and they go over to your vehicle, they start it up, and they just drive away.
No kidding. This? Wow. No.
Yeah. It's like a new thing. And so I'm just like, well, Jesus, what am I supposed to do now? It's you know, this, I have a giant truck, and I can't park it anywhere inside the garage. There's no way I could fit it in there. So I'm thinking, ooh, oh man. So I'm like, okay, I'll get a brake pedal lock so they can't start it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I think, well, that's just going to be a pain in my ass every time I try to go somewhere. And you know, remember those wheel steer lock things?
Yeah.
The club
Yeah, the club. Yeah.
Oh, worthless. So, and then I found here's a thing you can do, and I'm sharing this with everybody because it's like $10. It's an easy solution.
All
You
right.
take when you're at home, you have your key fob. You stick it into a little RFID proof little pouch.
Oh, yeah, that's brilliant.
So they go up to your door and they try to record your code, and they can't get it, and then that's it. That's how you protect your vehicle.
See,
And they also have like key fob boxes. You open the box, you throw your keys in there, and you close the box, and it does the same thing. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, how you handle your keys at your house, but that's one way to protect. I figured $10 for a key fob pouch is a lot better than 20, 30, 40, $50 for all the other nonsense. It's going to be a pain in my ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying. I mean, I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about today, but I started out the day feeling pretty good. Finding out Kevin Durant is going to be playing for the Phoenix Suns in the next game on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm like, yay. And I'm feeling all this. The sun is shining. And then all of a sudden, a crazy guy with a gun running around.
Yeah.
And then reports coming out on how they're stealing cars.
Now, here's maybe a different solution to that key fob thing.
Okay.
You raise a rattlesnake from just a small rattlesnake so it knows you and it knows your family. All right.
Okay.
And you put it inside the cab of your vehicle. So when these goons they hijack your vehicle, they get bit by the rattlesnake.
I don't think a rattlesnake is going to be cozy with you and bitey towards other people.
No, I think they would, because when they do the tongue thing, that's how they smell. They do the tongue thing, and they get your scent. And if your scent doesn't match up to these guys that are stealing your vehicle, well then whammo, they strike them and kill them. See what I'm saying?
Well, what if I wake this snake up from a nap and it's like, and then suddenly just gets me and goes, oh, sorry, but I'm still going to die from a rattlesnake bite.
Well, no, it'd just be a dry bite then.
And the other thing is you've got, a bunch of dead snakes in your car because the heat.
I'm not going
to leave the air conditioning on. I mean, it just feels like it's just making it easier for the car thieves.
Another bad idea. Okay, wait, I have another idea.
All right, last one, and we got to move on.
You put a box of hornets inside your vehicle.
Even harder to train hornets to identify you and not somebody. I mean, this is worse than the rattlesnake idea.
Just saying. All right, my bad.
If any more ideas come from you, they can't contain killing, stabby, bitey, stingy sorts of animals. It has to be some sort of a good technical idea.
But still, I mean, if you had like hornets in your vehicle and some cat didn't know and he opened that door up after stealing your fob, he's got a surprise coming.
Yeah. And then I can't ever go anywhere ever again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So thank you for the suggestions, Randy, but they're all horrible and we're going to move on.
Sorry.
Anyway, so, maybe $10 in my idea is probably a good idea.
Yeah,
so you don't get your vehicle stolen.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
Keon, you're fine. You don't have to worry about your car. 888-368-1580. I'm
not in danger.
Yeah, you're good. You can park anywhere. You don't even have to lock it. I think you're fine. Back to the Kevin Durant thing and the Hornets thing. They're playing the Hornets on Wednesday. Kevin Durant will be back out there. He's looking forward to getting on the floor. He says, man, I was having some fun out there before I got hurt. So he's looking forward to going out there, and he says picking up where he left off, where he left off was 29.7 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, and 5.3 assists. So I'm just saying this is going to be interesting. And now, what are we going to expect here from Kevin Durant suddenly being in there? Is it going to be awkward? Is it going to be kind of strange? Or do you think that these guys are going to be like, okay, we all know our role, and this is going to be the future here on Wednesday?
Listen, Kevin Durant is a veteran of this league. He knows what's going on, and CP3, another veteran of this league. He knows what's going on. I think that this team will gel quickly, and they'll get up to speed very quickly. I mean, nothing helps you get together more than game time action, but I think that this is not going to be a detriment to having KD on the floor with these guys. I think it's going to get along well, and I expect them to just dominate as they start rolling through the remainder of games that they have left into the playoffs.
Have they practiced? I know the Suns had a long practice on Tuesday. I don't know how much he has been involved in those things.
He has been involved in practice. Actually, since last week, he's been involved in the full contact practice. So they're not holding him back from anything. I think they were just sort of waiting for the doctors to give the 100% so that when he gets out there, you're not running the risk of, re-injuring the same thing.
Yeah, they say he hasn't had any knee pain in 2 weeks. And so he's just sort of easing his way into the full contact and being able to run for real. So, all right. Well, great. I'm looking forward to this game. I don't know the Charlotte Hornets or any kind of a real opponent, but it doesn't matter who they are. It matters what we get to see with the new look Phoenix Suns. And that is on Wednesday. 888-368-1580. CK says, you leave Keon and his VW Rabbit alone. Randy, beer me. One day closer to KD, baby.
VW Rabbit. That's funny.
I like how all of a sudden you're a white 16-year-old girl from Mountain View High School in Mason.
That is just really interesting transformation there. Even I'm surprised.
Yeah, there was a movie made by the Wayans brothers, I think, about that in the past. Way to go, CK. Big George says, hello, gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. Most productive day of the week, according to a new study. So how about Kevin Durant finally making his Suns debut? Go on, Suns, and win the West. You know what? I don't know if we're going to win the West. I think we're going to find ourselves in a much better position, probably out of play-in range, where some of these other teams are going to be. But can we actually expect to win the West at this point statistically, Keon, or is this like a dream too far?
I mean, I don't think you can actually expect to win it just because of how far away the Nuggets are. I mean, they're really damn good. They've been playing great basketball all season long. They haven't been injured like some teams have. So, I mean, just with how healthy they've been and how good they've been and how good Jokic has been and Murray's back and playing well, I just don't think the Suns can really think to win the Western Conference.
Can we get second place?
But you can, well, I think you can get, I mean, because the Suns got as high as 3. No, you could get second. I mean, you're what, 3 games behind the Grizzlies right now. Yeah, you could get a second because Memphis is kind of stumbling a little bit after, or they were kind of stumbling into the All-Star break. So we'll see if they're able to right their own ship and get back on track. But if they don't, yeah, the Suns can flag them down.
Okay, remind me how the whole playoff thing happens. So the team in first place gets a bye, right?
No.
Nobody gets a bye week.
No, nobody gets a bye.
Just nobody has to. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
I'm thinking too much NFL in my brain.
Probably, yeah. We still miss football. We still miss the NFL. But yeah, you're.
So there's a play-in, and then whoever wins the play-in it has to play first place.
Yeah, I mean the bottom 4 in a tournament essentially.
Right.
So the top 2 get in, and 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, and so on.
I just want a bye week somewhere. All right, so being in second place means you just got to play the 7th place team, and that's fine. So, all right, I mean, playing for second or playing for third, is there any advantage to second or third place? You feel like if you can't get first place, you really want to get second place because you're going to be playing an easier team than third place will.
Yeah, presumably, and sometimes the matchups are a little bit weird. Like right now, if you were to get second place, the 7th place team would be the Warriors, who are struggling right now. But a lot of that has to do with injuries. Yeah. Steph's not there. If Steph is back,
team you want to play.
Yeah, that's not a fun team to face. But it's the West. I mean, Utah's not fun either at 8, where they are right now. If that were to hold up, Dallas is at 6. I think if you want to get some revenge from last year and you're in that 3 spot, well, there you go. But Dallas is at 6 with Kyrie and Luka, so that's not going to be fun either. There's really not a ton of fun matchups. Maybe the Warriors might actually be the one you want out of all of those teams because they have been hit with the injury bug so hard.
All right, so we're looking at where will the Phoenix Suns have a chance to end the season going into the playoffs. It's still way too early to even predict anything that's going to happen, whether you have Kevin Durant or not. But as we kind of look at what the chances are for the Suns, what are the chances for the Lakers, the dirtbag, we hate their guts Lakers? Because now they've got some new players. LeBron James, he's dinged, but when he's in, he's a factor. So if we are scrambling our way back up because we've got a great team now, where are the Lakers going to? Are they going to be in a play-in, or do you think they're going to find themselves like solidly in the playoffs?
I think they're going to wind up in the play-in because I think all of these teams are kind of playing well. But I think that there's a chance that they could solidly wind up in the playoffs just because they're all bunched together so tightly. Dallas is at 6 right now, and the Lakers are only 2.5 games behind Dallas at 6. But that would require Dallas to stumble. You're gonna have to hope that a lot of these
they're capable
teams,
of doing.
They are, but they just haven't been playing bad basketball. So you're gonna have to hope that some team in front of you really screws up if you're the Lakers, if you want to get into that solid playoff spot. I just don't see that happening. So I think the Lakers wind up in the play-in game, and if they get to 7, then they give themselves obviously the best chance of making the playoffs.
I don't know that they're going to make the play-in though. After last night, LeBron James went down. He hurt his foot, and they're talking weeks of him being out, not days.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of days ago he hurt his foot. The pop happened.
I didn't know that they were talking about weeks though.
Yeah, the latest that I saw was it would be weeks. Not days.
That is a true update on that situation. The other part of this is you have to imagine the Lakers are still going to win more games than they would have because their lineup has changed in a good way. And I'll tell you what, this is a perfect opportunity to see just how well Rob Pelinka did, because now everybody has to play. You don't have a LeBron James.
Oh, I mean, without LeBron James, I'm sorry, Keon, just one quick comment. Without LeBron James in there, and we already know Anthony Davis's track record. I mean, they don't call him street clothes because he has nice street clothes. They call him street clothes because he's opted in street clothes on the sideline, and he's unable to play. We're going to have to see if he's able to step up and overcome some of these injuries, and if this team can play well together. I don't know that they can. Yeah, they upgraded, but they upgraded around LeBron and AD. If you've already lost one of those two, I'd say you're at a big disadvantage right now.
You are.
Sure.
And
Sure.
when I say that I think the Lakers can get to that play-in spot, I am saying that as though Anthony Davis is going to be available, because I never know when and how he's going to be injured. And I'm not going to try and predict the guy's injury. So I'm just going to operating as everybody that is currently healthy stays healthy. The Lakers could get into that play-in spot.
I think this is a fine time to hear that song I love so well, the long version, please.
All right,
Yes.
let's do it.
Burn in hell, Lakers! Burn in hell, Lakers! Something knocks you out again. Won't be in the postseason, but something knocks you out again. Something knocks you out, so burn in hell.
I don't think we're going to be the team that gets to knock them out, though. Yeah, we won't be in the
probably
play-in.
won't. No.
How ironic if it worked out that way, though.
That
How
would mean some
ironic.
bad things happened from here to the end of the season. Some serious injuries to some serious players. So please don't hope for that opportunity. I mean, gee whiz. By the way, I don't know if you've seen it or not. I don't know if you've seen this, but the NBA is reportedly thinking about an overtime rule, and I like it. I think it's a good idea. I don't know how it's going to be done, but they're saying they're thinking of changing overtime because, the other day you had Kawhi Leonard playing for 7.5 hours. He played for about 7.5 hours. It was double overtime, and it was crazy. It was a crazy game, the second highest scoring game in NBA history, and it just took forever. So they're saying, well, maybe we should do this. And Adam Silver, a turtle without a shell, Adam Silver decided, well, how about we do a thing where there's a target score in overtime? So basically, the first team to that target score wins the game. Now, is it a coin toss thing? I mean, again, because if you go back and forth matching each other and whoever gets that score first, I think a coin toss is important there, right?
Maybe not, because I think the home team I think would just probably get it, just because you start first quarter home team and you alternate first and second all the way to the fourth quarter. So you probably just go back to the home team again. You could probably do it that way. I like it too, honestly. It's not necessarily an overtime thing, but that's how they end the All-Star game is, you got the first person to 24 in the fourth quarter, the first team to hit that target score wins the game. So we've seen it a little bit in the All-Star game. I think it's cool in the All-Star game, and using it in an overtime makes, quite frankly, more sense.
Yeah. So what would be the target score, you think? Like you said, you mentioned 24 points. That doesn't seem like it would take too long to get to that.
It doesn't.
But again, overtime is the equivalent of one quarter, one period, whatever you want to call it. And so, your average score on a game being 100, give or take, right? So then maybe 24 is the target, or 25.
Maybe because the overtime period is also shorter than an actual quarter of basketball. So this will just shorten the game, I think, dramatically once you get to that point. And it's gonna introduce some interesting strategy too.
Yep, it's a race to the end.
Yeah, and I think that some of the shots that you would take that are risky, if you know that the other team is going to take advantage of that and punish you for maybe taking a long three and missing it, maybe you don't take that shot. I like
change the play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that there's some interesting things that can be done there to really make this something cool too.
Yeah, or if you get somebody who's shooting the hot threes, this game is over quick.
Yeah, I mean, if you have one of those Steph games, I mean, it doesn't matter what score they put it at or whatever Damian Lillard was doing the other day. Some of these guys are just going to get absolutely supernova and just end a game, and that could be also fun.
So there'd be no time limit, and you just play till 24 points. Now, what the NBA is saying, it would prevent overlong broadcasts, because when you have one broadcast that was supposed to transition to another, that's problematic for sponsors, for networks, that sort of thing. But also trying to keep them from overloading player minutes, so you don't end up with a load management issue. So I don't know how fast they can get this in, but of course it won't be this year. It'll be something like next year. But I like this idea. Randy, you've been kind of quiet about this. I know you're the resident. Please don't change the rules of any game.
Well, no,
curmudgeon. But
I like this. The only thing that I'd like to see different, instead of just giving the ball to the home team, have a jump ball. Isn't that the way the game starts?
That's true.
And if you have an overtime, instead of giving somebody an unfair advantage, to score first, have a jump ball. And by the way, I don't think it should be 24 points. I think the league average is somewhere around 30 points per quarter for an NBA game. I think you bump it up and make it 30 points and make these guys work for it.
And I'm not saying it has to be 24. The All-Star game is 24, and they did that specifically in honor of Kobe. They could use a number that they feel is more appropriate or feel.
I'm sorry, what was 24? Was 24 the number on that hotel door in Colorado?
It was the number of his jersey.
Oh, right. Oh, I thought he had a different number. My bad.
Yeah.
What were we saying? All right, it's time for a break. All right, so we're going to take that break, and we come back. I'll tell you a couple of other NBA change rules and some other stuff. We've got some baseball stuff. We've got some hockey stuff. And then, of course, we're going to have a bunch of NFL stuff. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
Top 25 hoops tonight. Number 6, Marquette visits Butler. The Golden Eagles by 8.5. Number 13, Virginia by 6.5 against Clemson. Number 15, Indiana, a 5.5 point favorite against Iowa. Number 12, Tennessee by 6.5 against Arkansas. Boise State's a 2-point favorite against number 18, San Diego State, the current Mountain West leader. Ole Miss giving up 5 at home against number 24, Texas A&M. Number 3, Kansas home tonight. The Jayhawks favored by 9 against Texas Tech. Taking a look at the futures odds for the 2023 National Championship, the Houston Cougars are the current favorite. Houston a plus 650 bet. I'm Chuck Sanders on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Are you a planner? Do you like to plan ahead? Then, of course, you already have a plan to call Harmon Solar, right? Bruce Jacobs here. It should be at the top of your list to get solar now and enjoy huge savings next summer. Up to 85% on your monthly bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Then you can plan what to do with all that extra money. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, women-owned, local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
No one else does what I do in diamonds. Hi, Diamond Dave Cantor, the only wholesale diamond dealer open to you by appointment. I import diamonds directly from cutters from around the world. We have the lowest overhead office of anyone in the diamond business. No one else with 4th generation connections, direct diamond importing, and design and manufacturing works directly with you except me.
No one else can do what Diamond Dave does. Call him today at 480-397-2450. Reach him on Instagram at Diamond Dave, KANTOR.
GCU men's basketball is back on the Fanatic. Listen along with Lopes insider Paul Coro and the voice of the Lopes, Michael Potter, for every moment of exciting Lopes action.
Wednesday night, the Lopes are on the road to take on the Thunderbirds of Southern Utah. Tip time at 7 p.m.
Listen all season long as the Lopes make their way through the WAC and try to punch their ticket into the madness of March. It's GCU Lopes basketball, only on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Today's Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Coming up at 7 o'clock, you've got Gilbert at Dobson at his girls basketball 6A semifinal game. And, of course, tomorrow we got GCU at Southern Utah, and that is at 6:45 p.m. And, of course, the other AIA game will be over on our sister station, Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM at 7. Boulder Creek at Brophy Prep, boys 6A semifinals. And this is how old I am. I have no idea who Boulder Creek is. I don't know where Boulder Creek is. I have never heard of Boulder Creek. I've lived in Arizona since 2000 and I believe, no, I'm sorry, 1983, 4, and I've never heard of Boulder Creek. Can somebody please tell me who the hell these people are, or is this just the name of a made-up school somewhere here in the Valley? I honestly don't know.
Boulder Creek High School is in Anthem. 40404 North Gavilan
That's north of here,
Parkway, Anthem,
Okay.
Arizona. Yeah.
All right, well, that makes sense because you know what they have a lot up there.
Boulders.
Doomsday Preppers and
well,
boulders.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
a lot of that up there. So thank
I
you,
was
Randy. Thanks for filling that in.
Unaware of the Doomsday Preppers.
I just assume from the people I've met from Anthem, I'm just assuming. Yeah,
okay.
there's a lot of
All right.
basements, bomb shelters,
okay.
a lot of dry goods.
Mm.
Big George says, as far as the NBA changing the overtime rule, he says they should make the target score 91 points in honor of Dennis Rodman. Really make them work for it in overtime. Well, I think the actual idea is the opposite of that, Big George, but thanks. Another thing that the NBA is thinking about doing is something about the coaches challenge. I guess, ever since they put that in, it could trigger one instant replay review per game of a called foul, called out of bounds violation, or goaltending or basket interference violation. And I guess they're trying to figure out, when it comes to the coaches challenge, maybe they're thinking of letting the teams keep the challenge to use it again if they are successful.
See,
the NFL does.
If you're going to have a replay and you're going to have a challenge, then but why do you make it so that it's just a few rules, a few plays or something, that happens? Why can't you just open the book and say, if you're going to challenge something, challenge it? You know what I mean? What are they afraid of here? It's like the NFL.
Taking too much damn time.
You can't challenge every call. You know what I mean? You can only challenge certain calls in the NFL. Why do they do that?
And you have a finite amount of challenges, so it's not like
Yeah,
I don't know.
You
It's not
want
like
to
you're gonna
blow it
extend
on
the
a
game.
dumb thing? Blow it on a dumb thing. It's yours to blow. Just
Yeah.
like money,
And
not
then-
everybody's good with money either.
Yeah, and then later there might be a serious, call that you need. Also, you lose the challenge, just like in the NFL, you lose the timeout. So it's not like you're going to just challenge everything.
Right.
You open it up so that we can actually challenge some of the stuff that referees are capable of missing that right now you can't challenge.
Boomer Sooner says, "Hey, Anthem's my territory there, Jeffrey." Well, then then you can confirm my thinking on Anthem. So thanks, Boomer Sooner. All right, so yeah, I agree with both of these ideas by the NBA. No problem, zero problem at all.
The only thing I have is make it a jump ball, and secondly, if you're going to have a coach's challenge, open it up. Don't make it, you can't challenge this, but you can challenge this. But you can't challenge this, but you can challenge this.
Well, understand that was just me dumbly trying to figure out how they would start the overtime, forgetting that we do jump balls in the NBA. So it'll 100% be a jump ball.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next thing. As you know, spring training is in full effect, and there's already some big injuries to report. Now, I'm conflicted. I don't ever like, when a player gets injured. I don't enjoy it. I don't hope for it. Except for Deshaun Watson, because he's a dirtbag. I do hope somebody breaks his knees, both of them, if possible. And but That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, no other player do I want to see injured. So when I hear Dodgers Gavin Lux is going to miss the 2023 season with a torn right ACL, and for as much as I hate the Dodgers, I'm like, I didn't want him to get hurt, but if he was going to miss a season for somebody, it may as well be the Dodgers.
You know,
Is that wrong?
Well, I don't know about that, but the unfortunate thing is they were playing against the Padres, and the Padres fans were going, "Who's going to be your shortstop now?" You know, they were all yelling,
"Who's
dirty. Your shortstop? Who's your shortstop?"
Well, guess what happened? Karma bit those fans on the ass because now their all-star pitcher, Joe Musgrove, he has fractured his toe after dropping a kettleball on it.
Well, there you go.
First off, what the hell is a pitcher doing with a kettleball?
Well, these guys that's part of their workout. They're always working these shoulder and upper arm muscles and the back muscles, and so the kettlebells are instrumental in doing that.
I got a machine downstairs does the exact same thing, and I would never drop it on my toe. I also would never use it. Look at me.
You of all people know, having played football, that instead of working out on a machine, I mean, the free weight system is much better and much more, appropriate for working certain muscle groups. Machines often don't get that exact muscle group, so that's why they use the kettlebells.
Well, now Joe Musgrove, Karma in action, is out for at least 2 weeks, having fractured his toe. After everybody started heckling the Dodgers about Gavin Lux. But enough about the Padres. I want to go back to this. Seriously, I'm glad that if anybody's going to miss Gavin Lux, that it's the Dodgers. I'm looking to see is this an ethical problem? Is this a moral problem for me?
Probably.
You know, there's a reason I want Deshaun Watson. I'd like to see his spine leave his body from a big hit from some defensive player. Because of all the horrible crap he's done. First time ever in my entire radio career, I've wished an injury on a player ever.
No, I understand.
And I don't wish this injury on Gavin Lux, and he's out for an entire season with a torn ACL. And he also hurt his LCL, and I'm pretty sure his MCI and Sprint and all those other things are probably torn up too. But I don't dislike him. I just hate his team. So I'm glad if anybody's missing a quality player, it's the Dodgers. Now, am I on shaky moral ground here?
I mean, that would be something you'd have to take up with yourself. I can't.
Well, we have to look at the teachings of Kant. We have to look at the teachings of Plato, Socrates, and Dana Plato and Todd Bridges. We have to look at all the greats of philosophy and decide where I am ethically on this. I feel like I'm pretty good ground.
Well,
I feel like I'm okay.
Okay, I hate to break this to you, but the Dodgers of all the baseball teams have one of the best farm systems, and they're pretty deep. I think they're going to be okay at shortstop.
Well, that's fine. I don't care. They don't get that guy. That's the guy they wanted, and they don't get him, and that makes me happy. It doesn't make me happy that Gavin Lux is hurt. Do you see my existential crisis?
Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying. But I'm going to tell you, although it is a shocker right now. It's such a young man. It's got to have this happen to him. The Dodgers will not be in trouble because Gavin Lux is not going to be their starting shortstop. They will find other people.
Sure. Rojas says, well, he was a big part of this club, and they were looking forward to having him. Listen, I can sit here and say I'm glad the Dodgers are shorthanded, but I'm sorry it happened to Gavin Lux. I also feel like I can morally and ethically say, I hope that Deshaun Watson gets run over by a Zamboni, even though they don't use those in football.
Just a random out of nowhere Zamboni breaks into
out of control.
Out of control.
No, just the guy riding it just falls off of it, and it's
a little too much drinking.
Yeah, I mean the Zamboni's been running from whatever city it started in to
right across the street.
I mean, just burst through the gates onto the field. No, I mean, you're well within your ethical bounds there.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson, he's not listening. Everybody's like, look out, look out.
Yeah.
And at the last minute he turns, and the last thing he sees is the Zamboni machine. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm an ethical high ground here.
Yeah, I think you would. With that, yes, of course.
Boogie says the great George Carlin would say, yes, you are on solid ground, Jeffrey. I think you're right. But I think he would also go even farther than I do on that one. Berg says JD Martinez, Dodger shortstop.
No.
And he did it in all caps.
No.
And
Bert.
Randy says no.
No, that's not going to happen.
By the way, when you texted earlier and said, blow it up, what were you talking about? I mean, I don't remember what we were talking about where we'd blow something up the bathroom.
I never texted you blow it up.
No, not you, Berg.
Oh, sorry.
Berg texted that. I don't know.
Well, I have been known to text out blow it up, on occasion. But
I did not know that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So is that all the baseball we need to talk about right now? Do you have any other
mean,
notes?
no,
I know that the Diamondbacks beat the Cubs. That was fun. They got that 1-1 count issue off of the pitch clock. Everybody's still trying to adjust to that.
Yeah. No, I don't think we have to talk about anything. And I really don't care if the Diamondbacks win or lose. It's spring training.
No, I get that. The win isn't something to get happy about. The loss isn't something to clutch your pearls about.
Yeah.
But, it's a thing that's happening.
How
And
do you
get
know
a
I
chance to
clutch
see.
my pearls? How do you know this?
I just know you. I know you got some Wilma
Never done that
Flintstone
in front of you
pearls.
ever before.
You have that face, man. Let's be honest. You got that face.
Do I?
Yeah, you do. So I'll tell you, you clutch pearls.
Uh-huh.
I accidentally squeeze whiskey glasses too hard and shatter them.
Uh-huh.
And what Keon does, Keon crushes rose crystals in his hands because he's looking for love. And he knows that those crystals are going to help channel love to him.
Is that what it is? By crushing the rose crystals, he's channeling love.
He's not supposed to crush them. But you're clutching your pearls. I'm like, crushing a whiskey glass. And Keon Rose, by the way, it's in his name, is got the rose quartz. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, you're not. You're not supposed to crush them, though. I thought that.
I don't think you're supposed to crush them, but if you watch enough Washington football like you do, I'm sure it happens on a regular basis.
You will, and boy, when you start watching Washington baseball like I'm about to, the many things will be crushed this year. It's just how it's going to go.
Yeah, we're going to get around to some of your Washington sports a little bit later in the show. Beer Bob says, when Jeffrey's talking about Deshaun Watson getting ran over by the Zamboni machine, why am I picturing the scene from Naked Gun when Reggie Jackson falls out of the stadium, gets trampled by a steamroller in the marching parade, and then everybody else?
See, that right there, I think that underscores the way Jeffrey feels about the sex offender.
Yeah, I actually now I'm hoping that it's more like what Beer Bob just said.
Mm-hmm.
That works for me.
Yeah.
And what did Reggie Jackson do? He just tried to kill the queen. And who amongst us hasn't thought about it?
Right.
Cardinal Art says it's going to suck when old Jim Irsay, hold on. The screen moved here. I'm sure this is going to be fun. When old Jim Irsay doesn't draft the best quarterback in the draft for your Colts, Jeffco, and a draft that like an offensive lineman, and then a quarterback we never heard of. Pour me a cold brew, please, Randy. Cardinal Art, I don't know why you're coming at me and my Indianapolis Colts with your hatred here. I don't know why you're coming at me.
What has Jeffrey and his Colts done to you?
We are going to talk about this because I have had time to reflect, and I have some thoughts on Bryce Young. I have some thoughts on this upcoming draft, and if the Colts do trade up for the first pick, I'm not so sure I want Bryce Young. I've had some time to think and reflect, and we'll discuss that a little bit later.
Are they dark thoughts that you had about Bryce Young?
No, they're not dark thoughts.
Okay, all right.
They're just, I don't know. For me, normal thoughts. Maybe for everyone else, they're dark thoughts.
Okay,
I'll let you decide. But it's not as cut and dry as I once thought. So I'm sure Keon will talk me off whatever ledge. But I also look back at the history of what the Colts have done with a first round pick, like the first pick in a draft. They haven't been good at it. I'll be honest. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It's been bad results all the way around. All the way back into the 60s, man. It's like once a decade we try this crap and has yet to work in our favor. But let's talk about hockey instead. This was a big surprise. Blackhawks have agreed to trade Patrick Kane to the New York Rangers. How about that?
Yes.
And he was like, yeah, it's not like the happiest I've been to hear about a trade. But when he knew it was coming, he started working behind the scenes. And he's like, yeah, if you're sending me, I want to go to the Rangers. And they made it so. And so now Patrick Kane is a New York Ranger. What are your thoughts on this, Randy?
Well, the Rangers just got a whole lot better. And the Blackhawks they got some draft picks, I think, in return. And this is going to help the Blackhawks grow. Obviously, this is not their Stanley Cup season. So we'll have to see. I mean, the Rangers need to do something to get over the hump because they haven't been able to do it the last couple of seasons. And I'll tell you who's probably really happy about that, Bruce Jacobs. That's his team.
Except for, is Kane even playing right now? I know he's been getting treatment for that hip injury. Is he back on the ice yet?
Well, I don't know that he's back right now. I haven't heard if he's back yet or not, but I know that he's going to be back this season. It's not a long-term thing. So he will he'll be back and he will be effective, especially in the playoffs. So we'll
he's also used to play with Artemi Panarin, and so they will get to play together again. And I'll tell you what, if he does hit that ice sooner than later, it could help because Keandre Miller just got a 3-game suspension for spitting. I'm pretty sure it's not just for spitting. It might have been that he spit on a guy.
Yeah, he spit on a guy. Yeah, that's what happened.
In the face of Los Angeles Kings Drew Doughty.
Yeah, it was a little scrum after the whistle blew. There was a little scrum going on there. Guys were kind of tangled up there, and he just he let one go like that.
Of all the things that happens in hockey, of all the violence, all the fights, and all the fists and faces and blades cutting arteries and the hack a loogie, a snot rocket goes at a guy, you're out for 3 games. I bet that's more games of a suspension that you get for some of the other stuff that happens. But you get 5 minutes for violence, but you get 3 games for a loogie.
But the thing is, you gotta nip it in the butt. The loogie will cause violence.
You gotta nip it.
You're out 3 games for the loogie because if they get their hands on you, the right person, they are going to kill you on the rink. I mean, that's just.
What you're saying is if you choose loogie, you choose violence.
You do choose violence. Yeah. And so the league is basically going, if you're the instigator, well,
to be honest, I just choose hockey. Okay. And that is violence. But all right. So Keandre Miller, he's out 3 games for suspension, and the Blackhawks now have Patrick Kane as soon as he's available. Maybe he already is. I don't know. But when we come back from this break, though, let's talk about the hell are the Arizona Coyotes doing? They need to be doing something, at least trying to take their pick and, build their future better with that. When we come back, we'll talk about what they may or may not do as we get close to that trade. By the way, when is the trade deadline for the hockey? When is it? Is that today? Is that tomorrow? Is that 3 weeks from now?
I thought it was this week. So let me look and see.
I don't remember exactly what time it is. Is it today? Is it tomorrow?
It's Friday at through.
Oh, hell,
3 Eastern. So
got all the time in the world to sort this out. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with 0 down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs, protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canier with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Huzzah!
Weekends now through April 2nd.
Great shopping, a giant crafts market. New shows featuring sea fairies, mermaids, and merriments. Non-stop feasting and more. The Renaissance Festival is back.
Weekends now through April 2nd. Discount tickets available at Bashas' and Food City or Arizona.renfestinfo.com. Presented by Delta Airlines, Bashas', Food City, Pepsi, Budweiser, and Guinness.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
Cincinnati Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So now we've got it all straightened out. March 3rd, this coming Friday. Holy crap, today is February 28th, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Tomorrow would be February 1st.
Yes. March 1st.
Hey, where are people who are born on a leap year supposed to celebrate their birthdays? Is it today or tomorrow? Is that like a personal choice thing, or
I don't know.
I had a friend growing up that on the non-leap years, he would celebrate his birthday. His family would throw a little party for him at midnight.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
So it was just kind of like their way of going. Yep, here's the 29th.
So it's just that little space between the 28th and the 1st.
Yeah, that was the family joke. I mean, obviously, he got to celebrate his birthday just sort of on both days, but they would actually do a little thing. They have you cut the cake and all of that stuff at midnight, and it seemed like a little fun family tradition for them.
Can I just tell you something? Not my issue. The people who say it's my birthday week or it's my birthday month, nobody likes you that much. Just stop doing that. Your birthday's on your birthday. Celebrate your birthday. All right. Don't assume anybody gives 2 bits of a crap about you for an entire damn month. Maybe you can get away with a birthday weekend. Hey, it's my birthday weekend. All right, I'll join you. Let's go drink. But if you tell me it's a birthday week, I'm like, well, somebody likes themselves a bit much, don't they? I don't have a week to give you, buddy. I don't have a week to give you. And then people who do that birthday month thing, holy God, get over yourself. Seriously, that makes me not like you more. So stop it. Stop at the birthday month. Stop at the birthday week. At most, it's a birthday weekend. You're lucky we give you a half of a second of your birthday to even say happy birthday to you. Okay? I mean, there's only one person who gets like a full day of birthday, and that's Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas. It's only fair because we spend like a whole 3 days talking about how he croaked. And that's no fun. You think that's fun for him? It's not fun for him. So, of course, he doesn't just get the day of his birthday. He gets the 12 days of Christmas. Still good.
You know what? I think it's even more than that because Jesus died on a cross, and we just wear them all the time.
That's just guys say I've got dark humor. That's pretty sick stuff.
The thing that killed him, we just wear it on our necks or tattoo it on our arms and stuff. It's this doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, I mean, if Kobe was like an actual deity, we'd be wearing helicopters around on our chains or something. Is that right? Is that right?
No, we'd be wearing pancakes with a helicopter rotor on it.
Just one blade sticking up out of it. It's not right, people. It's not right. How did we get on this? I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Oh, leap year. Great. Happy birthday if tomorrow's your birthday, whatever.
To those who are born today and on the 29th, happy birthday.
Is there a rule? Is there a rule?
I've never heard of one.
It affects so few people. I've never heard of one either.
I worked with this Brian Jewett guy. In fact, he's one of the guys who got me this job. Thanks, Brian. And he was he was a leap year guy, and I never.
A leap year birthday guy?
Yeah, and I have no idea. I have no idea. And he was like, well, you know what? Guess what? I'm 6 years old. Stop it. Stop it. That's it. That's another annoying thing. Leap year babies. Stop saying you're 7 or 8 years old. It doesn't work that way. I'm just mad at everybody now. Turd Ferguson says, today is my wife's birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Turd Ferguson's wife.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Turd.
Yeah. Is it
or Mrs. Ferguson?
I think it's Mrs. Ferguson.
Oh, sorry.
I don't want to be too presumptuous and say I'm on a first name basis with Turd. But
you will.
Maybe if she has a name, we'll say happy birthday to her. and leave your texter nickname out of it with the Turd Ferguson. Beer Bob says about the old Kane trade. He says, I don't think Kane's been playing for the Blackhawks because they knew the trade was coming and they didn't want him to get banged up anymore.
Yeah,
well,
I was
has not answered my question though. Is he playable right now?
He's ready to play. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. So
I got a text from Radio.
I knew it was coming.
Did you see that? Did he text that to you too?
He did not text it to me. I just when you said what you said, I I knew it was coming.
No. Well, I'm not in trouble.
No.
We used to have some taxi tops, and it's
okay.
Picture of Randy, myself, and the old co-host. And I guess he drove by and saw one. It's very faded. And Radio Ron says, "Saw this on the 101 today. He's back." Sorry, Keon.
I actually saw one.
Oh yeah, then you know.
last year sometime. Yeah, it's somewhere in Mesa.
It seems like we need to update those at some point, don't we?
Eventually. I mean, once these stop showing up for free, then we will.
I saw the Toyota guys on one just the other day.
If I ever find one of those parked, they're going to be mustaches all around.
Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah,
it was parked.
Or if you find ours, a mustache for one guy, and maybe give him a present, color in some hair for him. 888-368-1580. Berg says Bruins win the Cup deadline March 3rd. Okay, thank you, Berg. Big George says, Jeffrey, didn't you see the Seinfeld episode about the loogie shot by Newman and Kramer at Keith Hernandez?
Yeah,
that was one magic loogie.
Yeah, it was.
No, I really couldn't watch the Seinfeld too much because everybody on the show is just, to me, kind of morally reprehensible and unlikable.
Well, that was the point. Yeah, you weren't supposed.
I know
to
it was the point, but it was kind of hard to watch. For me sometimes, so I missed a lot of the Seinfeld.
Fair enough.
Cardinal Art says, I wasn't coming for you, Jeffco. I was just joking. But hey, don't be surprised if Irsay half-ass does screw up this draft. It's not even an Irsay thing. I have to trust that Chris Ballard, the GM for the Colts, will know what he's doing and have a stronger voice in that room than anybody else, because he certainly didn't have a stronger voice than Frank Reich. And that is why we've had like 3-4 years of misery for my Colts. So, but I appreciate that, Cardinal Art. Watermelon says, Jeffrey, Jesus is so important. He gets 2 birthdays. No, he gets one birthday where we get the presents and the other one where he gets killed. I don't know where this other day is you're talking about. Is there another day I don't know about? Watermelon, what version of Christianity do you observe? Tide Stick says, he says, hey, real talk, boys. Don't be talking about Jesus seriously like that. We're not saying anything bad about him. We're just kind of thinking from his point of view, that can't be fun to have to be reminded of all the time. Pinocchio says, afternoon, fellas. Hey, I never did get a chance to thank y'all during football season. Finding this show is the reason I canceled Sirius XM. So thank you. And that is all. Wow. We just went from being slapped around by Tide Stick to told by Pinocchio that they've canceled their Sirius XM because of this show.
Sorry.
You have made a horrific mistake.
Sorry.
There is so much good music on there, Pinocchio.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I first thought was, man, Sirius has gone downhill.
That's another good point. Yeah.
If we're the reason you quit,
Silly Wabbit says, Jeffrey, don't complain about your part-time job with full-time pay. Here's the funny thing. This isn't even my full-time job.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just something I do for fun. Turd Ferguson says, I'll tell her you guys said happy birthday. I can't destroy my alter radio ego, though. Okay. Well, happy birthday, Mrs. Turd. Robert from Surprise says, I just turned 45 a few days ago. Kind of thinking that over the hill for me, not sure. I'm not sure if I'll make it to 90. So he's thinking, well, I'm middle-aged now. He says, the blue collar life has got me working day and night, man. Well, Robert from Surprise, I had something worse. Back when I was doing a syndicated rock alternative show, the closest I ever got to being hip. And this is in the late 90s. And I had a crew that would show up and we would, we would get together kind of like this nonsense. And we would just play music and say silly things. And this one girl was there as an intern. And she walks up, we're in the parking lot ready to come in. And she says, hey, how you been doing? What you been up to? I says, I don't know. Just trying to stay out of gangs. And she looked at me and said, I feel like a middle-aged guy is not going to be the first choice as a gang member. I'm like, I'm 27. Are you expecting I'm going to die right before I turn 60?
How old was she?
Oh, she was 18.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, that's
There you
why.
go.
That's why. Because when you're 18, everybody over the age of 21 looks 50.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, does she see something like, the old witch and Big Fish is like, I know how you're going to die. And that shook me for a while.
So she thought you were 50 because she was 18.
But Robert from Surprise, at 45 years old, wait till you're 50 before you start having those thoughts. I think I'm 52 now, and I think about when I was 45. And that's when I won my wife over. That's when I actually was able to, well, you've seen her. And, so you've still got good years left in you. But once you turn 50, I laugh every time my wife and I celebrated an anniversary now. And I'm like, you didn't see this coming, did you? Stuck with me now, lady. No. She signed the document and everything.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
I know. No, I understand. Yeah.
And Robert says, yeah, now everybody under 18 looks 12. It is true. It was even that true when we were in high school and new freshmen would come in. We're like, oh my God, look how young these all look. We didn't look like that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Although back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, all of your parents and grandparents, they looked like they were 38 in their yearbook photos. Well, every single one of them looked like they've just been working for 10 years at H&R Block doing somebody's taxes. That was the look back then.
It's interesting going back and watching some of the sitcoms in like the 60s and going, is that person really supposed to be 21? Because that guy looks 35.
Well, and a lot of time back then they had 25, 30-year-old people trying to pretend to be high schoolers
good point.
And stuff too. Watermelon says Easter Sunday when he's born again. Duh. Oh yeah, that's right. There's a second part to that story, isn't there?
I don't know.
It ain't just the bad stuff that happens Friday. It's the other part that happens on the Sunday.
I guess right. I personally in my head, I guess didn't count coming back to life as being born, but you could count. It's a metaphor.
Well, then I think this is brilliant on Watermelon's part. Can I just say this right now? I want more presents. I want presents in April. If I get presents in December, I want presents in April. Wilbur says, in honor of the NFL Combine, I think we should do a remote and everybody dresses in really tight shorts and tank tops, and we can all run the 40 in under 12 seconds.
Why would you submit yourself to something like that? Us in tight shorts and tank tops.
There'd be one word that would describe the Daily Blender Combine.
Yeah.
Lumpy.
Yep.
Just a lot of lumpiness. Big George says, well, Jesus's birthday is Christmas. His resurrection is Easter, which can be considered his second birthday. And the day he died is Good Friday. Yeah, it didn't seem like a good Friday for him, though, did it? Didn't seem very good at all. Poor guy. Anyways, I get the whole thing now. I get it now. Fighting Wampa says, isn't Jen from Accounting's birthday February 29th? Only as much as she is a fictional character who I have declared dead.
We have been through this.
Robert from Surprise says, what's the over-under if the fourth dimension runs the 40-yard dash? How many pulling hamstrings? Whatever it is, it's over. It's over. Tons of pulled hamstrings. Oh, my God. I ran a 40 when I was 40, and I pulled my hamstring. Absolutely. Just, people warned me, stretch, and I did stretch. At a certain age, you're pulling a hamstring if you try to run very far, very fast. It's just going to happen. Big George says, yeah, Keon's right. Otis Campbell on the Andy Griffith show looked like he was 50, but that dude was actually 18.
I just never bought that he was an 18-year-old.
Otis is the drunk in the jail cell. Berg says, why, Big George? Why? Leave Keon alone on the Bird app. What are you talking about? The Bird?
No.
Twitter.
Twitter. I haven't really looked at Twitter today. I don't know what happened.
This has been a strange start to this episode of the Daily Blender, and we still haven't talked about the Coyotes and the trade deadline. Hey, Randy, do we need to?
Not really. No.
Okay. When we come back, we'll talk some football. How's that? Silly Wabbit says, I'd love to see Jeffrey and Mr. Wilbur together in a potato sack race. Why would I have to be in the sack with him? That's a weird fantasy you have, Silly Wabbit. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage Team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates were bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940 or online, lundmortgage.com.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Hi, Jada Cantor here, Diamond Dave's daughter. I've watched my dad as I grew up talk about what he can do, what no one else can, because of our family's 4th generation connections, direct importing and operating out of an office instead of a typical retail location. If you want something special in a diamond, a wholesale price, and to have the owner personally involved in your special diamond, call my dad, Diamond Dave.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450 or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave, KANTOR.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. We broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale, and we got a lot of NFL stuff that needs talking about. There's people who have been cut, there's people who have not been extended, and there's people whose futures are still sort of floating in the wind when it comes to this future 23-24 NFL season. Of course, the draft coming up next month. The month after next month. Well, can I just say next month now that it's basically March? It's basically March. Can I say next month? I'm just going to say it. I don't care. And I don't want to argue about leap year anymore. So everybody shut up. just leave me alone.
But it's still February.
Yeah, for like, what, 30 minutes? And then we're done?
No, several hours yet.
No, not when you drink like I do. So anyway, we're going to talk a bunch of football, but I'm going to clean up the rest of the text line here before we move on. Fish Tank says, I'm 35. There's a girl at my work who's 23. Blows her mind that 10 years ago, I started working at the company we both worked for while she was in middle school. She thinks I'm older than dirt. I just barely had my midlife crisis and built a bar in my garage, which means I should at least get another 35, right? Yeah, you know, I don't know if 35 can be considered a midlife, and it can't be considered middle age. I think you'd have to wait till your 40s or whatever. But I'm just going to encourage everybody: don't even worry about that crap till you're 50. You know. And the girl who's 23, you just 2 words: shut up. That's all you got to say. Shut up, and then just go on with your life. All right. So. Don't overage yourself too soon. Enjoy your life and energy while you got it, because when you turn 50, it's all downhill from there. Everything just starts to go to hell. I mean, that's just happening to me on a daily basis. Hey, avoid mirrors while naked. That is probably the best advice I have for you. Once you pass 50, avoid all mirrors while naked. You'll thank me later. 888-368-1580. CK says, yes, Keon, we have covered you killing Jen from accounting on Friday. What?
Well, I can't have killed her. Like I said Friday, like Jeffrey said today, she's not real.
Yeah, it's a fictitious person.
There's no person to be killed.
I was not aware you were a suspect, though.
Yes. Can't be a suspect of a non-murder because the person's not real.
I'm the one that declared it, so I'm surprised I'm not a suspect.
But here we are.
Yeah. Beer Bob says not even TV shows, just in the 60s and 70s. I believe the whole cast of Beverly Hills 90210 was like 10 years older than they were supposed to be. And that was the early 90s. No, I think that they were all in their 20s. And there was that one girl who was pushing 40 or something. I don't know. Mr. Pringle says, will the Blender be putting on an NCAA Women's March Madness bracket? I'm just moving on. I'm not going to answer that question. The answer is, of course, no. Big George, thank you. All right, can we move on now?
Please.
I think we're going to move on now. And by the way, why did February have to have 28 days? We got some other months that have 31 days. You peel off a day from one of those months, you plop it back to February and give it a 30. Why is this? What the hell is it? Why? Who started this nonsense?
I don't know.
Annoying.
It's a good question.
And how racist as hell are we that we just like, hey, Black History Month, let's make it the shortest, coldest, most miserable month on the calendar, and let's honor all of our African American friends.
I don't think that's how it happened.
I don't think that's how it happened either. So here's why February.
I think it has something to do with Martin Luther King Day because it's birthday, right?
I don't think so.
Why did we make that Black History Month?
I don't know the answer to that question.
It seems kind of like a ripoff. Like they should get a better month. Well, 400 years of oppression. What do you get? The shortest month we can possibly dig up. Doesn't seem right. It seems very on point for this country, but anyways, what were you getting on there?
I was going to say the reason why February has 28 days is to make the number of days on the calendar add up to 365 in a year. There would have to be one month with an even number. February was chosen to have the 28 days, as this was the day when the Romans honored their dead.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
If you take the 31st, whatever 31st months are, and take one day off of those months, you can make it February 30th and still be even. Do you see what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
And you still have 365 days a year. I mean, too much common sense over here?
Look, it's blame the Romans. I'm just reading the thing. I don't know.
Getting tired of them Romans.
This is their idea.
And I don't have anybody to complain to now. You know what? Roman meal bread? Do I send them an email?
Everyone that started this is dead. So
Berg makes a good point. He says all months have 28 days. That is some deep pass it to the left type stuff, Berg. Well done.
They all have 28 days, man.
Mr. Wilbur says, Jeffrey, do you need one of those mirrors that like I have? It says objects may be larger in real life. No, what I need is a circus mirror to make up for whatever the hell is going to happen to me at 50. Robert from Surprise says, because February 29th and 30th were alcohol-free days, so we just got rid of it off the calendar. Now finally, here's a man who's making sense. There's a man who's making sense. Thank you, Robert. All right, let's talk the football. Here's some of the stuff that's going on. Giants have decided that they would release Kenny Golladay on the very first day of the league year. And the first day of the league year, I know it. Do you know it? Do you know it off the top of your head?
March 15th.
You are correct, sir. Well done. Where were you, Keon?
I was actually going to say the 14th, so I would have just been wrong.
Wow. And he's supposed to be the expert. All right. I
have access to the internet. I'm
So Kenny Galladay is getting let go, and it's only going to clear $6.7 million in cap space, and they're going to have like $14.7 million in dead money. Did Galladay suddenly get bad at football? What happened there? Why are they doing that?
It's not that he got bad, but he was just all right. And they're in a position right now. They're gonna have to figure out what to do with Saquon. Paying Saquon seems to be a very important thing to do. I don't feel great about having to pay a running back big money, but he was basically their offense last year. And then they've also got to figure out what to do with Daniel Jones, who currently thinks he's worth $45 million for whatever reason. So with all of that,
they're going to pay him.
I mean, they're going to pay him, but they're not going to pay him $45 million.
They're going to tag him? Can they tag him?
Well, it depends. If they can get something worked out with Saquon, then yeah, I mean, they can tag him. But also tagging him would put him at the $45 million that they don't think he's worth. So okay, I think they're more likely to just tag Saquon and work something out there and let Daniel Jones test the free agent market, find out he's not worth $45 million, and then negotiate afterwards. Because he's crazy if he thinks he's worth Patrick Mahomes money, because that's what Patrick Mahomes makes on an annual basis. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, they're going to pay him a lot, but you're saying they won't tag him because they got to save that for Saquon Barkley. What the Giants need to do is just sort out their contracts. You know what I'm saying? Don't be in a position where you have to use the franchise tag. Sort out your contracts. They let Saquon Barkley sort of flail in the wind there for a minute. Maybe it was because of injury. Maybe I don't know. You're insane. You're insane if you are not figuring out how to make Saquon Barkley your guy for at least the next 2 years, if not 4.
Yeah, and I think that the franchise tag's not necessarily a bad thing, because you can always apply the franchise tag to somebody so that they're exclusively yours and continue to negotiate. And if you iron out a deal that's better than what the franchise tag is, you can always rescind the tag and then have the person sign the deal that you both agree on.
But if you rescind the tag, can you use it on somebody else, or is this only before March 15th?
I believe you can use it on somebody else. Yeah, but
interesting. So that's why everybody's going to wait till the last minute anyway. Then, all right. So that's interesting about Daniel Jones, and how he's sitting there, and he's just sort of an okay quarterback who probably actually can command quite a bit of money in this quarterback drought NFL that we have right now. But this just gave me glee. I was just giggling when I read this headline. Browns GM says restructuring Deshaun Watson's market shifting contract could be on the table.
You think? It's almost like it was a bad idea to give a guy who hadn't played football in 2 calendar years a fully guaranteed contract.
But here's the thing. Dirtbag Haslam, Dirtbag Browns bring in Dirtbag Deshaun Watson. And I'm not going to bore you with the details. You all know what he did, and you all know what they did, and you all know how they took that contract and tilted it towards him, expecting suspensions, and just basically dirtbag start to finish. And now the dirtbags are looking at that dirtbag saying, "Well, I'd really like to kind of negotiate this." Got news for you, Haslam. Dirtbag Deshaun Watson doesn't have to. He does not need to negotiate at all. You are about to get almost $5 million in a salary cap hit over the next 4 seasons from Deshaun Watson. He's going to get a guaranteed $46 million salary base every single one of these years. And that contract has screwed up things for every single owner, every single GM in the NFL because of what it did to the market. And now you're going to turn and say, "Well, I think the contract's on the table for discussion." You may put it there, but Deshaun Watson's agent and Deshaun Watson, no thanks, we're good.
Yeah. Guess what? It's not going to change anything that you want to restructure it.
You talk about karma.
You cut me a check for $230 million guaranteed.
I'll be out of here.
What is left to restructure? The Browns. You can't move any of it to bonuses because I'm not agreeing to that.
Nope. So now the Browns were 3-3 with old Deshaun Watson right there. And he had a whole 79.1 passer rating right there. That was amazing. No. 5th worst in the NFL. Right between Carson Wentz and Baker Mayfield.
Oh, nobody saw that coming, huh?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh.
So now the first season, Well, there's hardly any money there at all because they were trying to protect him from the suspension and everything. Well, guess what? Next year, karma hits you full on in the face, Haslam, and it hits you full on the face, Browns, and that's what you get for helping a dirty person be dirty. That's all I'm going to say about that. Dirtbags being dirtbags, hanging out with dirtbags, more dirtbaggery to come.
Because lots of teams went after Deshaun Watson, but the only team that was dumb enough to say, you know what, here's the whole thing guaranteed was the Cleveland Browns, because of course it was the Cleveland Browns.
Blissful Hayes says Deshaun Watson's deal is as dumb as Kyler Murray's deal. Whole nother conversation.
It's dumber. It's substantially dumber.
Well, at least it's not dirty and dumber. It's just dumb. The Kyler Murray deal is dumb. The Deshaun Watson, Browns, and Haslam deal is dirty.
I mean, Kyler Murray got a $230 million contract too, but he's $100 million less guaranteed.
Listen, he's not. He's Kyler Murray. Say what you will about the little guy, but he's not a bad little guy. He's trying to do the right thing. Remember when his girlfriend didn't want that gal coming over doing it? Was it hair? Was his
it was his hair lady.
Yeah, and he did the right thing by his gal. That pissed off the hair lady. But here's a guy just trying to live a good life. Whatever our opinions of him on the football field and how he conducts himself as a player, I don't think anybody's saying that he's a dirtbag. So at least the Cardinals deal with Kyler Murray isn't a dirtbag deal. It's just a dumb deal. Let's talk about more of the people who have been released. Leonard Fournette is now on the open market.
Not surprising.
Well, it's not fair to him. I think that if he had been in an offense that ran a little bit more, he would have been way more successful. He could be very effective, and he's a good player. It's just Tom Brady was there, and you had another young running back it was funny. They'd be like, here, Leonard, you do this. And then all of a sudden the other guy would get to get the touchdown. So I don't feel like last season was a fair sample. And I think that, of course, Leonard Fournette's going to find himself on somebody else's team, hopefully a team that will give him a chance to actually do what he can do best. And he can catch as much as he can run.
He can. And I think someone's going to find a lot of value in Leonard Fournette. But when you're making $21 million a year and you're slowly creeping towards 30 years old, which we just know at that point, running backs are just not as effective as they are early on. That obviously, I think, scares a team like the Bucs away, who have a lot of restructuring to do because they need to find a quarterback.
He could receive. This is why I don't know why you don't look at somebody like that. You can last longer as a running back as long as you can also catch the ball. And, again, you're right. He probably doesn't have more than a couple of years left, and he's made a nice chunk of money here in his life. But I do feel like he could have done more given the chance.
It seemed like he was injured a lot this past year. And also, he was able to run in that Tom Brady offense just fine the year prior. So I feel like he had these ticky-tack injuries. He was on again, off again, on again, off again. And, the whole team wasn't very effective this year. They had a lot of injuries on.
Yeah, that was more of a team effort because I had Leonard Fournette in fantasy football. And, I didn't notice him being injured all that much unless I've just got selective memory. But,
I know he did have I do know he had some nagging once he played through. So, they just didn't have the bodies to really let him take a rest either.
All right, Marcus Mariota now available for your Arizona Cardinals, Randy.
Yeah,
the Falcons have cut him, so now they've cut two, big name. Okay, I can't say that. That's just a lie. They've cut Marcus Mariota, and then the other day Carson Wentz, and so Marcus Mariota might make sense as a guy on the roster for the Cardinals because he's a guy who can run, and they've used him in different teams. Like, here's the ball, and he'll throw his body into traffic if you ask him. And that might be a guy who could probably sort of work into being a good backup for Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Colt McCoy is probably not going to be available for the Cardinals this year. He's right now he's coming back off a pretty substantial injury, is what I understand. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, Marcus Mariota picking him up. I don't mind that. I mean, obviously he's not a starting quarterback. Obviously he's a guy that can come in and help you out in a pinch. But I don't know long term. I mean, if Kyler Murray's going to be out until about halfway through the season, I don't know if that's the right pick.
I don't know either, just because Marcus Mariota he might be the single most frustrating quarterback I've watched in my life because he's so accurate, but he refuses to throw the football. Like he's just scared. Like maybe he just thinks that, okay, if I throw it now, it'll get intercepted or whatever, but he's so scared to throw the football. He doesn't. And then when he does, it's like panic throwing.
Yeah.
So then he gets picked off anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily, for playing more than maybe 2 or 3 games in a season in relief for your quarterback, if Mariota's the guy you necessarily want.
I think Mariota ends up being on a roster before Carson Wentz does.
Probably.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
There is at least some gadget value to Marcus Mariota. Hamilton Porter says, have you guys heard about this game today in spring training where the umps just left in the middle of the game? What are you talking about? No. I'll have to look that up, Hamilton Porter, or get me some information on that. Well, they must be very sensitive. Woos says, hi guys, my brother-in-law's birthday is February 29th and we celebrate it on the 28th. So happy birthday to Ray. There you go, Woos. Happy birthday, Ray.
Okay, I got the ump thing here.
Okay.
The Pirates and Orioles kept playing after the umpires left. This is on the big lead.
Why would they leave?
I have no idea. Pirates and Orioles wanted to play a bottom of the 9th despite the Pirates leading 7-4 at home, but the umpires just left at the top half thinking the game was over. So now they're playing without them. And there's a little picture of the playing without the umpires.
So are you just on the honor system for strikes and for who's safe? And
Well,
who's not?
if the home team is leading after 8.5 and the visiting team, the game is technically officially over. But if these coaches want to get in a little more work,
sure,
and play the bottom half of the night, the umpires will be under no the game is technically over. They'll be under no having to stay there. They can walk off the field. And it sounds like that's what's going on here.
That's all fine, but again, how do you regulate what's happening on the field?
You just have catchers. I mean, we used to do this all the time. You used to have the catchers call balls and strikes.
All right.
I think it is interesting that the umpires didn't think that they needed any work. Just saying.
But that tells you everything you need to know about the umpires.
Just like it's just an inning and a half more. You just stay for that, and then you can go home.
If they're salary, they're like, nope, I'm out.
Not at all.
Honey, I'd be on my break.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right, we will take a break. We'll come back, get caught up on the text line. More NFL deals, stuff, people getting cut, people's contracts being considered, and stuff like that. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now, the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
GCU men's basketball is back on The Fanatic. Listen along with Lopes insider Paul Coro and the voice of the Lopes, Michael Potter, for every moment of exciting Lopes action. Friday night, GCU is still in Utah to take on Utah Tech, live from St. George. The tip time is 7 p.m. Listen all season long as the Lopes make their way through the WAC and try to punch their ticket into the madness of March. It's GCU Lopes basketball, only on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Saturday, all day, is going to be high school basketball championships. We got one at 10 a.m., at noon, at 2 p.m., at 4 p.m., all day long. You'll be hearing the best of the best in high school basketball playing each other for bragging rights and, for that state championship. What do they give them now? Do they give them rings? Do they give them, everybody gets a little trophy? I don't know. I haven't been in high school forever, so
I don't think everybody gets a ring, but I don't even think everybody gets a trophy. I think
a little one or something,
possibly, but I don't even know actually.
Does anybody know this? Because I'm sure somebody's got kids or works within some sort of high school sports or something. I'm just kind of curious. What do you get? It's like, yay, we won, and then the trophy goes in a case at the high school. I get that, the trophy. But then after that, the players get, I don't know, something, right?
Well, are you talking about high school sports?
Yeah.
Generally what happens nowadays is the team is issued, championship rings.
They do get little pewter rings or something.
Well, I don't know if they're pewter. I don't know what they are, but
I ain't spending a whole lot of money on that if I'm running school.
But I think the AIA does that. That'd be a good question for our friends on the Easy Prep Show on Saturday morning. They could answer that question.
I don't think they want to talk to us.
Why not?
Because we're silly. And they're very serious.
No, they like us. They like
Keon,
us.
do they like us?
Yeah, they do like us. Yeah.
Can you find out? Could you text a guy right now and find out?
You have Jose's number? You could probably text Jose.
I could text Jose and probably find out.
Yeah, man.
Jose he's cool, man. That is one cool dude. I think I always just figure he's too serious for my nonsense.
No, actually, I've actually talked to Jose. Jose is a big fan of rap. I mean,
Well, you can be a fan of rap, but that doesn't mean you're a fan of nonsense.
No, but I mean, he's more fun than his original demeanor shows. The more you talk to him, the more you're like, this guy's really funny and pretty cool.
Yeah, his personality doesn't come across on the radio.
I don't think he wants anything to do with me. And I don't blame him. I understand. Find out what the deal is on what do the kids get. I remember my son was on a championship football team, the younger level, peewee level. And you know what everybody got? Slice of pizza.
Hey.
and they got to hold that little Super Bowl looking trophy. They got to hold it for photos. That was what they got. And I took a bunch of photos of my boy holding up and I'll tell you what, the smile on his face, you'd have thought he had won that Super Bowl. That was an awesome time. Let's get caught up on the old text line here. Let's see. Mr. Wilbur says, what year of his rookie deal is Daniel Jones in? Kind of like Kyler holding us hostage last year. The Cardinals still actually had 2 years to work with, his fourth year and his fifth year, and we caved and gave him his money last year. That was just like a panic move because they were afraid he'd pout. I don't know what anybody was thinking, but that guy don't work here no more. Now we don't have old drunky drunk. What we have now is awesome fart. An awesome fart. I imagine
awesome
probably.
fort.
That's what I said. I would probably do that whole thing different had he had the chance, but he doesn't. So now he's got to try to build around the $230 million band and hope the hell something works out with your new coach. By the way, who's your new coach again?
Jonathan Gannon.
Gannon. And then, of course, I got Steichen. How do you say his name?
Shane Steichen. And Daniel Jones's contract is up. They didn't pick up the fifth year because they weren't sure about it.
Yeah. Sounds like they're still not sure. Jagdog says, how about
45 mil? They're not.
It's funny. What I think the Giants have learned is something the Cardinals haven't. You don't have to give somebody everything they want just because they say they want it.
Mm-hmm.
Jagdog says, how about this one, Jeffrey? Deshaun Watson does community service with the tree trimming guys and somehow, pushed, maybe an accident, maybe pushed, I don't know. And then his throwing arm ends up in the wood chipper. Bam, karma. Well, okay, I'll allow it. I kind of like the whole Zamboni idea better. Hefty Lefty says Dirtbag Haslam is about to buy the Milwaukee Bucks for $3.5 billion. I know this guy has got nothing but money. Part
of the Bucks because they the share of the Bucks that he's getting, I don't think is the controlling share.
Oh, really? I thought it was.
It would be tied with it, but it was two partners that bought the Bucks when that team was originally up for sale, and one of them is selling to Haslam. So the other one still has his share. And he's the one that's considered to have more of the controlling abilities with the team there.
So Haslam will buy half the Bucks for $3.5 billion, and the other guy has $3.5 billion and 1 cent more dollars of control of the Milwaukee Bucks. But you know, that's all Haslams are going to be doing is trying to figure out how to get control away from the other guy. But I'll tell you what, the Haslams don't have control. You know what they are going to get? Just richer. They're just going to get richer. That's all it is. It's about getting richer right there. Beer Bob says Carson Wentz might sign with the team before Marcus Mariota does, because doesn't the USFL start up pretty soon? That's a good point. A lot of these guys might find themselves in the XFL, the USFL.
But once you've been an NFL player and teams know, okay, this guy's willing to take a step back and be a backup or something like that, they'll give you that opportunity. You don't have to go straight from the NFL, even if you were as bad as Carson Wentz, and go to the USFL.
And clipboard holding money is better than USFL or XFL money. I'm pretty sure I'm right.
And if you're holding a clipboard for a team, sometimes you might still get to play, whereas the USFL might not exist in 10 years. You could have a 10-year NFL career as a backup. As a USFL player, we'll see.
I'm feeling like this might be the last year for them. Because you know why? We haven't talked about them at all. I don't think anybody cares about them. I think Live Golf might have better ratings than they do. I'm seriously, I've heard nothing. I don't know. Is anybody playing right now? Are the USFL playing? Is the XFL playing?
XFL is playing. Yeah.
Has anybody seen this nonsense? Is it any good?
Ralph was telling us he liked it. I don't.
Okay, Ralph.
I haven't
Ralph
watched
is
it.
not the person to talk to about that.
All I know is that the DC Defenders were playing, and the fans had a beer cup snake, and then when they took it away, the fans started throwing things on the field. That's what I know.
I believe it was lemons.
They were lemons, specifically lemons for whatever reason. Yeah.
You don't take the beer cup snake away from people.
No, you
just
don't
do that.
Especially in an XFL game.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
All right. So if you're watching USFL or XFL, let us know what you think.
That's all the entertainment they had was the beer snake.
I can't take Ralph seriously on this. More than likely, he's just screwing with you guys. Boomer Sooner says, Jeffrey, there's a report that there's a lockdown in Queen Creek, Sierra Park, Ellsworth area. Are you okay, buddy? Well, clearly I am. We started the show with me mentioning that I think they're looking for him in the wash. Oh, crap. I shouldn't have said that. If he's listening to the show, now he knows they're not looking for you in the wash. Just come on out anytime you want. It's all clear, buddy. Whoever you are, Mr. Shooty guy. Colts fan Dan. We were very familiar with each other.
Yeah.
Colts fan Dan says, if Angel Hernandez was one of the umps that left early, then I'm sure the rest of the game was much better officiated.
So the XFL TV ratings.
Yes, sir.
Week 1 was over 3 million viewers. And week 2 is down 50% to 1.5 million viewers.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to continue to do
So there you go.
Down. CK though says no. Yeah, XFL has been good so far. You're not luring me into it. I ain't doing it. I'm not watching it.
I will say, at least in the XFL, there are at least names I recognize from college. But yeah.
Alan Porter says the only thing weird in the XFL is the kickoff rules. Look it up. It's just weird. Well, stop telling me to look stuff up, Hamilton Porter. I don't have that kind of time here. If there's something about it that's weird, you got to tell me what it is. That's how the whole thing works here on the show. Hefty Lefty says, no way the Milwaukee Bucks are worth $7 billion.
They're
$3.5 billion must be over 80% stake, unless he is way overpaying. In that case, hooray.
The $3.5 billion is the total that the Bucks are valued at.
Well, then, how much did the Haslams pay?
They 25% of that.
They only paid 25%
because that's the share that they bought. They bought a 25% share.
That was the first story. The second story was they were selling them the whole damn thing.
I hadn't seen that the Bucks were for sale, all the entire franchise, but they're valued at Forbes valued them at $2.3 billion last year. And then the valuation that they did for the Haslams to buy the share that they got, came at $3.5 billion.
I don't know if I trust Forbes. I need you to look this up. Be sure.
No, it's $3.5 billion.
No. I thought for sure the Haslams bought the whole damn thing.
No.
If they only bought 25%, well then okay.
No, I read the article yesterday. They bought the share from one of the controlling owners of the team. They did not buy the entire Milwaukee Bucks.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, hefty lefty. It does make more sense. He says, thank you for that clarification. But let me just say this. Forbes also valued 1580 The Fanatic at $78 in a box of Cinnabon. And I don't know if I agree with that evaluation.
Because it should have at least been 2 boxes of Cinnabon. At least.
I'm sure that one box would be a kickback to somebody. Jagdog says, has anyone checked on Solar Boy? Lost LaFonda and starting shortstop in the same day. Yeah, we got to get Ralph back on the show. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Well, he was on the show Friday and Thursday, I think.
We'll get him back on here so I can take a swing at it. Mr. Pink Eye says Greg Ogden looked like he was 50. Curious ASU fan says in high school, usually the state champ all get a trophy, and there's a small MVP trophy sometimes. So everybody gets a trophy. Have you got an answer back? From Jose
I got an answer back from Jose. He said the team gets a trophy, not everybody getting a trophy. Also, he made no mention of rings. So
yeah, see, I could be wrong.
Team, so nothing has changed. Team gets a trophy, and it's whatever your school decides. To
so do. the Haslam thing, the approximate value was $875 million. The team in total was valued at $3.25 billion. So the Haslam's portion was $875 million.
All right, so he does not own the entire team. He's just going to get rich off of it.
Yes, and he owns a very big stake in the team, but I don't believe a controlling stake.
My damn Google game is in fuego today, Jeffco.
Yeah, your Google foo is happening.
I didn't even have to Google that.
Wow.
Well done, Randy. Nicely done. Curious ASU fan says, I referee youth sports from about 5th grade to 9th grade. There are a lot of occasions where one team has won a game by mercy rule, or in volleyball, it's the best 2 out of 3. So a team will win the first 2 games, and technically the match is over. At that point, I will leave. And if the coaches and players want to continue playing afterwards, well, they'll go ahead and do that without me. All right, fair enough. That makes more sense, especially in youth sports. Less sense, I guess. I guess it makes sense no matter what. I'm just saying, everybody's getting paid.
It does make sense no matter what. But to me, it's like part of spring training is we're ironing out all of the little flaws and things, getting back into baseball form. This should include the umpires who, if the players need the work, an inning and a half.
Yeah, finish the game. Hamilton Porter says, okay, here's the deal with the XFL kicking rule. Teams line up on the 5 yards apart, but can't move till the receiver catches the ball and starts running. Oh, that is weird.
It is weird, but I think it does save a guy that's just getting blown the hell up from a hit from a gunner he didn't see.
It's the XFL. Why does anybody care about anybody's safety there?
Because they're still people.
Are they really, though?
They are. Yeah.
Okay. Hefty Lefty says, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Big George says, actually, Jeffrey, I was skeptical myself about the quality of play of the XFL, but then I watched that Seattle Sea Chickens and St. Louis Battlehawks game on Thursday. It was actually pretty good. Definitely better than the USFL and better than the previous incarnations of the XFL. All right, well, you guys keep on watching, so I don't have to. Blissful Hayes says, it's always good to support the Utes of America. Did you say Utes? Did you say Utes?
Yeah, Utes.
Can we get back to talking about real football again, please? Let's do that. Let's talk about the fact that Matt Eberflus, still one of my most favorite names in all of football, says that Justin Fields is on the right track. He just needs to make small adjustments to his game. That was what Matt Eberflus has said. But he also said, hey, listen, we still have to do our homework. We still got to take a look at, these players in the draft. And by the way, has anybody really shined today at the combine? Have there been stories of quarterbacks just amazing people?
Well, today's not the workout day. Today is just the the check-in and all the medical stuff. This is the day that Kyler Murray was measured at 5'10", when we all know he's like 5'1". And this is the day
at least
where you see guys are what they can lift and that sort of thing. And I think tomorrow it's more of the sprint activity. And then I think on Thursday, they actually take the field and start doing workouts. I think that's a schedule I saw earlier today.
And I believe also interviews today.
Interviews today, yeah. They have the interviews today.
So let's talk about height, by the way. I've been contemplating how my Indianapolis Colts are probably going to blow this whole deal. And we've been talking about this occasionally in the off season. Who should the Colts be getting? Now, if the Colts are able to move up in a position to take the very first quarterback taken in the draft, Keon's like, "Ooh, you got to go Bryce Young. You got to go Bryce Young. He's plug and play ready. He's exciting. But here's the thing: he's short. He's 5'10". He's not Kyler Murray short. Kyler Murray is no more than 5'8". I guarantee it. He's no more than 5'8".
He's 5'10", but he's also really thin. He's like
195, 5'10" and a half is what they're saying.
195. Okay.
Yeah. And, they say he's a very special playmaker. But listen, Russell Wilson was about that height, and he bulked up a little bit there, and he had some success. Drew Brees had a Hall of Fame career at just 6 feet. And, Russell Wilson, they say 5'11", but come on, he's 5'10". Kyler Murray's lying on his resume. So let's just step back to Bryce Young and that height. Now, I railed against the Arizona Cardinals for going after Kyler Murray at his diminutive state. And I'm not so sure that Bryce Young is going to make me any happier for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I think he's a couple of inches taller. Is that tall enough? You know what I'm saying? Is it tall enough?
I think it's tall enough. I mean, at this stage, we have seen Kyler have success in this league, and he's smaller, as we're saying.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. At this point, quarterbacks that size are not the exception.
But Kyler Murray, he did take a stereotypical short quarterback trajectory. And what I mean by that is once they figured him out, then all of a sudden, what's happening? He's getting injured. What's happening? His passes start getting batted down. What's happening? He's having a hard time seeing the field appropriately. So then he had to work outside of the pocket. And now all of this is stuff you can adjust to, but these are problems that Kyler Murray has had. It's fact. It's not just me thinking about it before they drafted him. It's the reality that the Cardinals have had. Now, I don't know if I want that same reality with Bryce Young and my Indianapolis Colts. We have to take a break. When we come back, I'm sure Keon's going to have plenty to say about this, and he's going to try to sell me Bryce Young, but I'd rather he try to sell me an alternative that maybe doesn't need a step stool to get stuff off of high shelves. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Huzzah! Weekends now through April 2nd. Great shopping, a giant crafts market. Your favorite shows.
Be ready to have a great time and don't be afraid to participate.
Huzzah! Just night.
Huzzah!
Silly fun for the entire family.
Happiness reigns at the Renaissance Festival.
Lots of new shows. Non-stop feasting. Leave your cares behind. It's fun and affordable.
You will adore the Renaissance Festival.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Huzzah!
Weekends now through April 2nd. Discount tickets available at Bashes at Food City
Or online at arizona.rentfestinfo.com. Presented by Delta Airlines,
Bashes Food City.
Pepsi, Budweiser, and Guinness.
Kids need to read. That's right. Get free admission to the Renaissance Festival when you bring 2 new books to donate to Kids Need to Read. See you this weekend. Huzzah!
Remember when you could go to the doctor and actually leave feeling better? Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Katz. The problem with our healthcare system is the focus on the system and not on your healthcare. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum healthcare using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men and women's health. We help people find relief when other doctors have failed. Our naturopathic doctors can restore your pain-free life using cutting-edge regenerative treatments. We can also help restore balance to your immune, digestive, and hormonal systems. Addressing your cause can also improve both mental and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working for you, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call us. We're the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, Arizona at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161 or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canier with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
I'm here to tell you about a technological shocker. Believe it or not, you can listen to us on your smart speaker.
That's shocking.
Wow. What a world we live in. All you have to do is say, listen to 1580 The Fanatic.
Today, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. 888-368-1580. That's your number to text in and be a part of the show. And we're kind of talking about, who should be the best quarterback in this draft. And I was looking at CBS Sports, and in their NFL mock draft, they actually have the Colts taking Anthony Richardson instead of Bryce Young.
So you got to, with some of these mock drafts, you got to take that with a grain of salt. That
always,
to me is one of those cartoon mock drafts that you're reaching. Anthony Richardson is probably the guy with the highest upside in the entire draft at the quarterback position, but he is the least NFL ready of all the guys.
Let me read you what CBS Sports said. They or the guy, and I thought I had the name of the person who wrote this, but I don't. So whoever did this says, I think Richardson is going to emphatically remove the lid from Lucas Oil Stadium at the scouting combine. This is why I asked if anything interesting happened today. I guess not yet. So tomorrow's something to watch. He says that will lead to the Colts taking a chance on him, given the hiring of former Eagles offensive coordinator Shane Steichen as head coach. Richardson has similarities to Jalen Hurts and all-pro upside, which is interesting because I'll tell you something. Let me take you on a little tour of history. Do we have any tour of history music? Little like flashback thing?
No,
I don't. What do we have for that?
Anything like that? I don't have anything like that.
All right, so here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 1999, the Colts got themselves a Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's first year was horrific, and it was an education. I'll tell you what, if you ask Peyton Manning about that first year, he's going to be like this, but also I learned a lot. And I would imagine that Anthony Richardson could learn a lot. And I can forgive a year or two of as long as you see progression, as long as you see, like the Bears, their progression with their quarterback, Justin Fields, I think, is where they should stick with the quarterback, not just because I want their pick, because I think Justin Fields is going to be a great quarterback. So when you tell me Anthony Richardson has the most upside, I'm like, you know what? He's 6'4".
6'4", 231.
Yeah, he's big. He's like Cam Newton size.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
And as long as there's upside and he can be taught, I kind of feel like I'd rather go with him. I love this. On this mock draft, they show Bryce Young is 6 foot. And then, of course, the reality is they're saying 5'10". And the reality is probably even different than that because Kyler Murray called himself 5'10".
Well, Kyler didn't do it. They measured him at the combine and came away saying he
kept
was
it a secret. No, they didn't do it on video. So it was a lie.
Good point. I think with Bryce Young, they said 6 foot because that's what he was measured at Alabama. Alabama's obviously going to play that
tippy toes.
Play that up.
So people in Alabama don't know how to count nothing.
They're expecting the combine height to obviously be much closer to reality.
Bryce Young wore like one of them big, tall, like railroad conductor hats, and they're like, "Well, this looks like a good place to mark him right there." It's Alabama, man. It's Alabama.
But yeah, regardless, the 6 foot is not accurate. That's the reason why they measure you at the combine, because the college is kind of inflate the numbers a little bit. But I do think that with a guy like Bryce Young, it's what's upstairs that you're trying to pick. The mental side of the game, he gets it. I mean, he just
That's what they said about
it.
Kyler Murray.
They did not say that about Kyler Murray.
Yeah, they did.
Kyler's a smart dude, but he came out of an offense that was had dynamic playmakers everywhere, and B, was a spread offense. It was a simpler offense. With Bryce, he's coming out of a more pro style offense. Remember, the offensive coordinator at Alabama was Bill O'Brien. That's an NFL dude. So when I say he gets it, I mean the NFL offense, the pro style offense. He understands that.
And Keon, you need to understand something. You were not on the show when I had Kyler Murray thrust at me as if he was the savior of all things Cardinals football. And everything you're saying about Bryce Young has been said to me on this radio show. So you may disagree with the person who said it. Okay. They're no longer with us. God rest in peace. But I was told how crazy I was, and I stood firm and said, this is going to be a mistake. And I stand by those words even now. And I just don't want that same mistake for my team. Anthony Richardson, I kind of like the idea of a guy who's tall enough to play and somebody who has a lot of upside to be a good franchise quarterback.
Yeah, and he has it. I do like Anthony Richardson a lot. And I think if the Colts go that direction, honestly, go get a veteran quarterback and let the guy sit behind him. I don't think throwing him to the Wolves is going to work in a Peyton Manning-like way, because Peyton Manning, cerebrally, if we're talking about, again, guys that get it, Peyton came into the league with the mental side mastered. He just didn't know how to play at the NFL speed yet. The game was just much faster. With Anthony Richardson, he doesn't know how to play at the NFL speed. And if you go look at his tape at Florida, it's the highest of highs and some of the lowest of lows. He just made some decisions that you're like, dude, what the hell? And he can fix that. He's young enough. You can
I'm
coach
patient,
that, but
I'm patient to see him fix it.
And if you're patient, and I think if the staff is willing to be patient, if Ballard doesn't feel like he's under any pressure to have a guy that comes in and delivers right away, because that's part of it. You can't expect that from Anthony Richardson.
For all the jokes about Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard and that whole situation, the one thing I know is if you see improvement, if you see a trajectory that shows success, there can be a good deal of patience. Former coaches were given an awful lot of rope. You know what I'm saying? So as long as it's heading the right direction, Irsay will be fine. He'll be happy. He won't mind what's going on. So I don't know what the reality is. I don't know what's in their heads. I don't even know what the Bears are actually willing to do. We might be sitting there behind the Texans and behind the Cardinals, just hoping that something is available at that point. I mean, I feel like the Cardinals, and I think CBS Sports got this right, you're probably going to go with Jalen Carter, the defensive lineman out of Georgia at that point. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer, right, Keon?
It feels like that to me. I watched a lot of Georgia football this past year, and Jalen Carter is a monster. I mean, he's just an offensive line breaking monster. And I think that he's somebody who, if he's able to take on double teams in the same way that, an Aaron Donald could, and I'm not saying he's Aaron Donald, because that's not fair to put on anybody.
A lot like JJ Watt, but healthy.
But yeah, I think with that, you could get some more help for your linebackers. Now, all of a sudden, there are lanes for them to go through on the line. I getting a guy like that, who is that athletic and that explosive as a talent on the defensive line, to me, that's not somebody that you pass up.
So let me give you some history on how the Colts have screwed things up over the decades. In 1967, they went ahead and traded up for the number one pick from the New Orleans Saints, and they got Bubba Smith. That's not too bad. That it didn't, he was great on the defense. It wasn't a matter of, him being a problem or nothing, but they won a Super Bowl with him, and they lost a Super Bowl with him, back then. So that right there, well, it wasn't the worst thing. Then, and you know what they gave up to the Saints? Well, the Saints went and got quarterback Gary Kuzo. Do you remember him, Randy?
No.
Exactly my point. So that's one where the Colts got it right. But this isn't about the defensive players. This is about how the Colts have done messing around with quarterbacks. Well, here's one where the Colts had the first pick and they traded it down to the Atlanta Falcons. And you know who the Falcons took? Steve Bartkowski, who turned out to be a pretty damn good quarterback in the mid-'70s. And the Colts got Ken Huff and George Coons. Do you remember them, Randy?
No.
Exactly. And Bartkowski is one of 10 quarterbacks in NFL history who achieved consecutive 30 touchdown passing seasons, 1980 and 81. He went to the Pro Bowl. He was second team All-NFC. He led the NFL in passing yards in 1983. You see what I'm saying here? And of course, you know, that record was later broken by Peyton Manning, but still, Bartkowski was a damn good quarterback, and the Colts kind of just screwed that one up. And then in 1990, they traded up with the Atlanta Falcons for Jeff George.
I remember him.
Yeah, this is when I was a fan of the Colts, you know, because it was in the early 80s where I decided, hey, that's my team. Jeff George, 46 interceptions and 41 touchdowns, lost 35 of 49 career starts as a Colt. Only winning season was in 1992 because he didn't play that many games because he was injured. And that's the only reason it was a winning season. He didn't play all the games. 15 interceptions and 7 touchdowns in that season. Jeff George was horrible.
He had 2 winning seasons in his whole career.
The Colts traded up for Jeff George. So you see what I'm saying? We've had a long history of not getting it right. Irsay came along. We ended up with a couple of good quarterbacks, Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, for as long as he survived. So I'm a little bit iffy on my chances of actually, getting the right quarterback. So if they don't do what I think they should do, and I agree with CBS Sports on Keon, am I going to be okay with Bryce Young? Really?
I think you are going to be okay with Bryce Young.
But it's going to bother me that he's also itty bitty.
Yeah, that'll probably concern you, but I think when you see him play, that should go away. I mean, we're talking about a guy who was at Alabama, and unfortunately, Alabama has the reputation of being a star-studded team, but he didn't have all the stars that Mac Jones had. He didn't have all the stars that Tua had. Those guys had elite wide receivers who are scattered around the NFL that are fast as hell, and they're changing the game. Bryce didn't have those guys. You know, he didn't have all of that help. And week after week, Bryce Young would take the Alabama Crimson Tide, throw him on his back, and go out and win football games, which to me is what is the most important. Anthony Richardson has a ton of potential and upside, but he's so raw that you're taking a giant risk, you know, and there's ways to protect Anthony Richardson where, you know, what the Bears did with Justin Fields, what Brian Dable came in and did with Daniel Jones, where you're running him a whole lot more until you can get him to the point where, all right, the passing game is something that makes a whole lot more sense to you. But with Bryce Young, you don't have to teach him all that. He's going to come in and be familiar with how all of that works. And the dude can just win. He can just figure out how to break defenses. He knows how to read them. I just think that with that, I think with Bryce Young, you're fine. I wouldn't even think about it if they drafted him.
I feel like I'll be fine either way then. If you're right, but also Richardson has a lot of upside, it's just a matter of when will we start winning games?
Highest ceiling in the entire draft.
Right. So, and by the way, I've been asking about how things are going at the scouting combine, and maybe I'll find her wherever the hell Rich Eisen is tomorrow, and I'll tune it in to see what's going on. But a lot of coaches are like, yeah, I don't know if we need to be coming to this thing. They're starting to wonder if the scouting combine is even worth it. Now, it'll always be there because the NFL makes money off it. So, done deal. There will be no end to the scouting combine. The question is, how many coaches are actually going to be going to this scouting combine if they don't find value in attending? All these stupid questions they sit there and ask somebody. I feel like the only people who are really getting looked at are going to be like the one or two in their position, of any position. You know, like a couple of the best quarterbacks, you might be like, ooh, what's going on with this guy? Or a couple of receivers, ooh, what's going on with this guy? But in general, don't you feel like you've seen enough tape of these guys in college to make a good decision?
See, and I agree with you, except for the point now these 1 and 2 guys are going to not play. Like, for example, the presumptive number 1 defensive tackle or edge rusher, whatever the guy's name from Georgia. He's not even going to work out. He's doing the interviews and that's it.
And that's part of it too. And part of it is, like you said, you actually should have done your film work by now. if you come to the combine and make a decision purely on the combine, you're probably running a very bad organization. And that's the reality of it. Why can't I just send my best scouts?
Meanwhile, my
and
head
handle
coach
business
and
at
my
home?
GM are at the combine today.
Which is fine. That tide hasn't turned yet. People still go, but it's a tide that's turning.
Yeah, and it's not like you're going on vacation in Indianapolis. What a hole in the ground that is. All right, guys, that's 2 hours down and one more to go. More NFL on the way. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hanson. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Homeowners age 62 and older, now it's time to act. This is Rob Canyon, retirement mortgage specialist and host of the Retire Right with Reverse Rob show on 1510 KFNN. Yes, listing prices are down, but home values still remain at very high levels. Don't wait to learn more about the new and improved home equity conversion mortgage. This is a safe and proven coordinated strategy in retirement, which will improve your monthly cash flow, lower your tax liabilities, and make your retirement portfolio last longer. Call me today, Reverse Rob, at 602-REVERSE, or on the web at www.reverserob.com.
Well, Mrs. Grayer, nothing on the x-ray that pinpoints the source of the pain. Let's send you to our lumbar expert.
After reviewing the x-rays, I can't see anything wrong. Let's give you a steroid shot for the pain and send you to the lab for some blood work.
Tired of the runaround? How about trying a new approach? The holistic approach. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K24EU Fallon Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third
hour. All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And holy crap, I'm hungry. Oh, he just hit me. I am just starving.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had some the little tortellini pasta stuff for lunch.
Uh-huh.
That was not a whole lot of food for me.
So it is Taco Tuesday in the Valley. So are you?
I know, and I've been promised.
Any tacos today?
Yes, I've been promised tacos.
Yes.
What I'm kind of hoping is she goes over and gets 4 tacos, 2 chicken, 2 beef from Backyard Taco.
Uh-huh.
Then we bring those tacos home and then we make 6 tacos or 8 tacos out of those because they put so much meat on those tacos.
Yeah.
That's thinking right there. They
Yeah,
ain't
it
cheap
is.
tacos, by the way. They ain't cheap at all.
Well,
Those
I mean,
backyard tacos.
You know, they don't fool you. They don't fool you. They feed you.
That's right. And you feed their bank account. That is for damn sure. But I'll tell you what, worth it. Worth it.
All right.
But here, play the home game like I do. You buy 4. Now you have 8 tacos. You got 8 tacos.
See?
You know, as long as you have some little tortillas. You
Yeah.
know, save yourself some money, but
No, there
also
you go.
realize
Yeah.
you don't need this giant meat taco thing falling apart on you.
No. No.
Good point.
No, I don't like my tacos falling apart on me.
And no, we will not allow anybody to have the texture nickname Meat Taco. 888-368-1580.
That's fair. That's reasonable.
I know this audience, and I'm just
Way to
thinking ahead.
squelch it quickly, Jeffco.
Mm-hmm. Hamilton Porter says, "Tell us what we all want to know. When do they take that Wonderlic test in the combine?"
I think that was
imagine
today.
today.
Yeah, I think today is the day.
I don't know why we still do that. I don't
It's
know why.
silly.
Makes no sense.
I
But
just
then the
feel like-
NFL doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think what happened was the NFL has a lot of. Remember when you took tests in school? You had to have a number 2 pencil, and you fill in the little circle there. You do a little thing there.
Yeah.
I think they bought way too many of those sheets, and until they're done using them, you got a Wonderlic test.
That's
the
a good point.
Scantrons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they got the Scantron machine still working. As long as that thing still works, yeah, you got the Wonderlic test. That's just the way it works. Blissful Hayes wants you to know that Uberflus sucks worse than BU as the Bears coach. They're going to screw up this draft. I'll tell you what I would do. I'd just take Bryce Young right here, right now. But what about Justin Fields, Blissful Hayes? I mean, I feel like that's a fine quarterback right there, man.
See, if I'm the Bears, it's it. I am trading the number 1 pick to whoever gives me the most draft picks, and then I'm gonna clean house on offensive linemen. Just clean house on it.
Yeah, whole new crew. That'd be a good idea. Colts fan Dan says, if Colts couldn't protect that man Andrew Luck, they sure as hell can't protect that skinny ass Bryce Young. Well, here's the thing. As soon as, we got rid of Ryan Grigson and old Ballard shows up, boom, suddenly we've got the best O-line in history. But Andrew Luck's like, too little, too late. I'm out. So with this, yeah, you better have a mobile quarterback because our O-line went from being great to being horrible. Now, keep in mind, some of them guys were injured, and they're going to come back next year, and you'll have a pretty good O-line. But I agree, Colts fan Dan. Needs to be some more talent on that O-line, or it won't matter who we get at quarterback.
And of course, Anthony Richardson and Bryce Young, fortunately for you, are pretty mobile guys.
Especially that Anthony Richards guy. I mean, he could flat move.
No, he's it's weird. When he runs, it looks like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Even though he's bigger, he's that fast.
Yeah, he's really fast.
I want to see
happy to
him
hear
run
this.
the 40 because I want to know what his time is. He is insanely fast.
All I need him to do is run enough until we get an O-line. Then you can hang around. Just do what you got to do, man. Missa Wilbur says, would Kyler be a superstar or just an average player in a 6 foot and under NFL league? Well, I thought the question was going to be, would he be a superstar if he was 4 inches taller? I think that he might be playing very differently if he actually, A, came as advertised, which he doesn't, or B, just was 6 foot. I mean, listen, I think 6 foot it's still kind of short for an NFL quarterback, but we've seen some successful 6 foot players. But listen, 6 feet, I could even maybe give you 5'10", but when you're 5'8" and lying about being 5'10", that is a problem. Big George says maybe we should use the X-File theme for the Wayback Mystery Machine music.
No.
Leave it to Randy. He'll come up with something in case I ever ask for that again. He'll be ready. I know it's bothering him right now that we didn't have
hell yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
looking back in time music. Random texter says, speaking of number 1s and number 2s, did you hear the Philadelphia Eagles submitted a request to have the number 0 as an official jersey number? Yeah, I did. And I think I don't care.
Yeah, they added it in college. It's
Why?
changed nothing.
Why is it a thing, random texter, that the Eagles want the number 0? Hey, can we get the number 0 over here?
I'm pretty sure there's a player that would love to have worn the number 0 that asked, and so they just put in the request. I can't imagine it's a serious. Well, without the number 0, there's something we can't run. Like
this is the kind of crap that I would just every night, because I'm a man, I'm in bed before my wife is. That's just the way it works. They need a little more time winding down doing the women things. I don't know what the women things are. I don't want to know what the women things are.
Mhm.
But I know this. I go in there, I brush my teeth, I make sure my pits don't stink because I'm polite. I'm a gentleman. And then my ass goes to bed. That's what I do. I'm a man. Boom. That's my go to bed routine. So I'm always in bed before she is. And of course, she's a wonderful human being, beautiful woman. And she'll walk by and she'll say, "Can I get you anything before I go to bed?" And I'm always like, I don't know what would I want? What would I even request? But for me, that is the sort of thing I'd request. She'll say, "Do you need anything? How about the number 0 as a jersey number? Can we do that?" That's because I can't think of anything else to ask. And I think that's what the Eagles are doing.
Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
What do you want to change about the league? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the number 0 on a jersey.
Can we change it to the LFN? Just switch the letters around? Can we do that? Just for fun? The Eagles are bored, is what I'm telling you. They don't have any needs, so they're like, well, how about 0 on a jersey or 0-0? So you can have that as 2 different numbers, 0 and then 0-0. That's kind of dumb. Don't you guys think it's kind of dumb?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't matter. I don't know.
How does this become a news story? You quietly send that. Oh, hey, you think we can change the numbers? Yeah, okay, no problem.
Well, it becomes a news story because somebody that works for the Philadelphia Inquirer has to write something. So they wrote that, and then of course
Sirianni's going to walk out at the beginning of the season. "You're welcome, everyone."
So they wrote that.
I did this.
This is kind of interesting. And if you live in Philadelphia, you might be, oh, that's pretty cool. And then all these other websites have to fill space on their website, so they just take the story and run it again.
That is exactly how many people care about this. 0. 0 people care about this. Matter. Jagdog says, they really fill those meat tacos with a lot of meat there. Tacos good. Boomer Sooner says they do the Wonderlic test to give us something to talk about. We got plenty to talk about. I don't need to talk about that dumb Wonderlic test. Blissful Hayes says Justin Fields is not a good passer. I don't see the potential in him. He's an excellent runner, though. I'm ready to move on. All right, that's fair. You're a Bears fan, but I mean, I've seen him pass. I've seen him do all right as a passer. I mean, yeah, his talent really does lay in his feet, but Lamar Jackson, you can make some parallels there, can't you?
Yeah,
some very big comparisons.
And if you look at Lamar's strides as a passer year after year, the accuracy just goes up. So it's not like you can't get it. Josh Allen, when Josh Allen came in the league, the first couple of years of Josh Allen, just go look at it. Dude was hanging around 50% as a passer. Josh Allen's an awesome passer now. Weird interception in the red zone thing notwithstanding, he's an awesome passer. So like you can't just say because the guy's 2 years in and he doesn't look like a great passer now that it can't ever happen, because that's just not the world we live in.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not going to try to talk you into Justin Fields, but I think you're not giving him a fair shake. Kiss the Cook says it's a 21-hour break and Jeff Hostetler for Hall of Fame. Yeah, see, I knew somebody was going to bring that up. Yesterday, at the very end of the show, I said, we'll see you in 24 hours. And I knew someone was going to call me on the math that it was going to be 21 hours.
You know who wasn't going to ever call you on the math? Anybody on this show.
Yeah, no, we don't do math here.
Well,
you should know better.
I mean, technically, if you're thinking about it, when we sign off today, it will have been 24 hours since you signed off.
Yeah, but it'll be 21 hours before we actually see these people again.
Maybe.
And I said 24.
It depends on when people tune in. It could be 20, it could be 21, it could be 23.
There could be a large audience who only tunes in the last 2 minutes of the show.
Could be 25. Who knows?
I don't blame them if that's all they can handle. Boomer Sooner says, Jeffrey, 0 and 00 is my favorite roulette numbers. Are those really numbers on a roulette wheel?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wesley Snipes told me how I should play roulette, and I'm going to stick with it. You always bet on black. Random Texter says, you say meat taco can't be a Texter nickname. What about meat in the taco or meat of the taco? No to all of them, Random Texter. I mean, after all, meat is the most important part of the taco, is it not?
Ooh.
I'm not having this conversation, Random Texter. Jagdog says, Lamar Jackson got a 13 on the Wonderlic test. Don't you get 5 points for even just spelling your name right? I believe that is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you spell your own name right.
But there's some factors there. One, he could just not have given a damn.
Yeah,
And,
I wouldn't care. I'd be
like,
answering stuff wrong just to mess with people too.
I mean, for me, I am the prime when you hand me a test sheet, especially one with the letters A through D, and I don't care. It's abacadababab all the way down. I'm not I'm not trying on a Wonderlic. He's not getting graded.
So Blissel Hayes finally does have something good to say about Justin Fields. He says, "Hey, I would definitely take Justin Fields over Kyler Murray. At least Justin cares and he tries."
I don't understand why people think Kyler doesn't care. I don't get that. You don't scream at your coach. You don't scream at other people on the team if you don't care. He cares.
Hey, you know what? I know his mouth was moving, and people were like, "Yeah," but all I could hear is, "You're making me look bad." Remember, he was all saying that they're making me look bad out there. The coaches are making me look silly.
Yeah, in the playoff,
it's not
game.
about him caring about the team. He's caring about how he looks at that moment. After he heard us and everybody else on sports media say, "Wow, he's just sitting there on the bench. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's not a team player. He's not." All of a sudden, he's yelling at people like trying to pretend to be a team player. Only thing Kyler Murray cares about is the perception of the public, because he sees it on the Twitter, he sees it on social media, and he's like every other teenage kid. Oh my God, they're saying stuff about me. I guarantee you, he does not care about much more than Kyler Murray.
I disagree. You don't win 9 games in a row if you just don't care. Like, you're just out there just playing the game and just not giving a bleep. Like, no, that doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't.
Wasn't that back when they hadn't figured him out quite yet, though?
No, it was year 3. It was
it
was year 3.
Was it?
Yes. Yeah, because I was here. It was the year that I
the
moved
NFL
here.
was so bad.
It really wasn't, though. You just they hadn't figured him out, because if they'd have figured him out, they'd have figured him out year 1 and 2. Year 3, that was his best season.
CK, I can't read your filthy text, but you're right. Random texter says Keon's absolutely correct. Kyler Murray does care about himself. That's pretty much it. Himself.
I disagree.
Well, that means you're agreeing with me, not Keon. Just saying. What are your thoughts on this, Randy?
I have no thoughts, because I'm quite frankly tired of everybody just bagging on Kyler Murray. I'm a wait and see guy.
If only it wasn't deserved.
I mean, it's partially deserved, but okay, he's got a new coach, got a new OC. Let's see. I for one think it was partially Kyler did not play up to the standard that he should have been playing at, and partially Cliff Kingsbury is one of the worst coaches I have ever seen. And if I believe someone is being coached by one of the worst coaches I've ever seen, then there's some part of it that's not his fault. So let's go ahead and see what a real, actual guy who has NFL experience can do.
My gasp was nothing to do with what you were saying, Keon. Everything you said was fine. My gasp was a realization, and I'm going to aim this at the Cardinals and Randy White. You keep your goddamn hands off of Arch Manning. Oh my God, they're going to tank. They're doing this on purpose.
It could be. Could be.
Oh, I can see it now.
That's why I choose not to get upset anymore. I just
so
waiting
Keon,
on Arch Manning to show up.
Arch Manning only has to play next year, and the following year he can go in the NFL, right?
Incorrect. He has to play next year and the year after. You got to be out of high school 3 years.
Like the Cardinals can't suck for 2 more years.
They can.
You keep your hands off him, Mark. You can keep your hands off the Arch Manning, Randy.
Cardinals suck next year. Just get Caleb Williams.
Yeah, don't worry. According to everybody in the audience here, the Cardinals will suck.
Take Caleb
from now until forevermore.
Don't take Arch.
We'll take whoever the hell we want to.
Don't you dare.
Oh, yeah.
I need another Manning in a Colts uniform.
Sorry, Jeffrey, not going to happen. Son of a bitch.
Blissel Hayes says Kyler doesn't care because he feels disrespected by the Cardinals when they put in the study clause. Kyler is a disgruntled employee, so he only cares about himself and the $220 million contract he's got.
And I think his best season was the season before that. And that guy was not playing like somebody who didn't care. I'm sorry. I don't see the don't care there.
Here's another one for you. Derek Carr will take somebody to a Super Bowl before Kyler Murray does. There's another solid prediction by Jeffrey O'Brien, 1580 The Fanatic.
All right. I mean, I have not anywhere near enough information to make a prediction like that. So I don't
bask in my greatness. Sorry, Randy. I know that doesn't make you happy, but
I just don't know
Big
what I'm supposed to do
George
with that.
Says Keon seems to have overlooked Kyler Murray's awful season last year. Kyler is overrated and should be traded. Draft a new quarterback. Well, none of that's going to happen now.
I didn't overlook it. I'm saying it wasn't a good season. It was a pretty terrible season. But I'm not going to use one season out of his whole career to suggest that he doesn't care.
No, I'm going to say that he's gotten his money and he's going to stop trying so hard. Martitious Man says
because he was trying pretty hard. So I don't know. What that
see the fix is in. Martitious Man
does it make sense?
Martitious Man says, so the NFL has a Wonderlic test. Does it have a powder puff league? Have the I can't read the rest of that.
Yeah,
Man.
That is wow.
Yeah, it's funny though. Random texter says that is a good point. Why is everybody tagging on Kyler Murray? There's so little to bag on. CK says, Keon, you're right. Willow does care about only himself. That's a sci-fi deep dive right there. Willow, little Willow. He's a little midget guy in the movie Willow. You never seen it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think anyone else has. Niner 1680 says Kyler cared about getting paid, and that is it.
I disagree. Again, dude destroyed his damn knee trying to play football. He didn't have to run.
That's all he had was to run.
RG3 got a really big head in Washington, and the first thing he did was stop running. So, the idea that a quarterback would try less by running so hard, his knee broke. That's insane. You're just insane. I don't get this. This doesn't make any sense.
You know what? I'll tell you what. It doesn't matter.
He pouts. He's moody. He's a bad leader, but try is not the problem.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine because it won't matter. None of what we're talking about is actually going to matter. What's going to matter is what does happen on that football field. And I'm sorry, Randy. I'm just sorry.
Mm-hmm. As am I.
And that is going to be the thing that we have to deal with the most this coming season.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to send you presents every week to
don't
lift
have to
your
send me
spirits.
anything. It's not my football team. I mean, I'm a fan, but you don't have to send me anything.
It can't feel good. My only relief was knowing, ooh, look at us. We're tanking. We're going to get a quarterback. That was the only thing that made me happy. And then after that, it's going to be, all right, we got a quarterback. He's learning. Okay. So I got a couple of years of not being like, oh, son of a, so my time might be coming. Keon has been a fan of the Washington Commanders forever. His pain and misery.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I've been a Cardinal fan. So I know his pain and misery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, I'm going to be sorry.
Don't be sorry for me.
To be right, but I will be right.
Okay.
888-368-1580 against the spread. Hey, buddy. He says if the Cardinals didn't extend Murray's contract last year and he was a free agent right now, how much would he get on the open market? Not as much as he did from the Cardinals. I really believe that.
Yeah, I mean, he is also above Patrick Mahomes in yearly salary. That is not what would be given to him this season. I think that's fair to say.
After everything everybody has seen, it would be a deep discount, I think. CK says, Keon, go back and watch it. He was hardly running. Hold on, my screen has frozen. Well, hell with it. We'll take a break. I'll just reset this damn thing. Once a day, my text line goes goofy. At least it's better than the last one we had. Remember that thing? It was like translating everybody's stuff into Taiwanese and turning the screen upside down.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So 888-368-1580. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
College basketball conference tournaments just about set to get underway. Taking a look at the futures odds for the 2023 National Championship, the Houston Cougars are the current favorite. Houston a plus 650 bet. Kansas a plus $800 bet. The Jayhawks battling for the top spot in the Big 12. The Alabama Crimson Tide a plus $1,000 bet. Purdue and UCLA both at plus 1,200. UCLA the leader in the Pac-12. Purdue on top of the Big 10. Top 25 hoops tonight. Number 6, Marquette visits Butler. The Golden Eagles by 8.5. I'm Chuck Sanders on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with 0 down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
One trip down Scottsdale Road and it's obvious. Snowbird season is here. You know what else is on Scottsdale Road? The absolute best restaurant to take your out-of-town friends and family to. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. No one does it better than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create the food, fire, and fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is dinnertainment at its best, where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for any occasion. Choose from over 50 different items and combinations of teppanyaki. Looking for a great dining without the show? Kasai offers an awesome selection of Asian-inspired dishes and tasty sushi. Happy hour deals daily until 6 p.m. And enjoy outdoor dining on our heated patio. So whether here on a golfing trip, for spring training, or just to enjoy our Arizona sunshine, don't just take your guests to dinner. Take them to Kasai Japanese Steakhouse for dinnertainment. Visit KasaiScottsdale.com. That's KASAI Scottsdale.com. Or call 480-607-1114.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
GCU men's basketball is back on the Fanatic. Listen along with Lopes insider Paul Coro and the voice of the Lopes, Michael Potter, for every moment of exciting Lopes action.
Wednesday night, the Lopes are on the road to take on the Thunderbirds of Southern Utah. Tip time at 7 p.m.
Listen all season long as the Lopes make their way through the WAC and try to punch their ticket into the madness of March. It's GCU Lopes basketball, only on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Dave Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. I don't want to be that guy. You know, I try not to be that guy. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Nobody wants to be that guy.
What do you mean that
You
guy?
know, in certain situations in life, I don't want to be that guy. And one of the guys I don't want to be is that guy who's driving down the road with the ultra bright, piercing, like very bright headlights.
Yeah.
The HID lights.
Yeah. And you know, but I kind of feel like my headlights could be a bit brighter, you know? And so I'm like, well, I don't want to be that guy though. I don't want to be that guy. And so there's got to be some middle range between being that guy is blinding everybody in traffic or being that guy with dim headlights. So, you know, just some basic LED headlights should do it, right? I mean, I don't want to, you know, cut through like, you know, mountains with the lights. I just want to see better. Is there something in the middle, Randy? Is there something in the middle?
Oh, I'm sure there is. Sure there is. You could probably go to any, any auto parts store and find some basic LED lights.
Well, yeah, I know. I could probably get those online. I'm just saying the LED lights aren't going to be as blinding as some of the stuff that's out there, right? Or is that going to blind people?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. You can upgrade those lights to make those super bright lights. I've seen
So
that.
I'm thinking is I get some basic LED for regular headlights.
Yeah.
But then I want the stuff that does blind you if I decide to have a flashing brights war with you.
Well, there you go.
I want aircraft landing lights.
Yeah.
When somebody pisses me off, and
Absolutely.
I'm like, I want that. I want a train horn.
Yeah. I think you can buy a train horn, and I think you can get these blinding lights, these off-road lights, and make sure you the Jeffrey, you just adjust them up a little bit so it hits people right in the eyeballs.
Yeah. But in general, I don't want to. I want to be that guy.
Right.
Right. You ever afraid you're that guy? You
No.
realize, oh my God, I'm that guy. I don't
No.
want to be that guy.
Mm-mm.
About anything like, some people will leave their cart sitting out there in the parking lot. They end up being that guy.
Yeah.
And they
I'm not-
justify it by
not that
saying,
guy.
well, leave it out there so somebody has a job. So they have to go out there.
No,
and
stop it. You're a bad person.
I put it in the cart corrals. I always do
Me
that.
too.
Yeah,
Always
because
do.
I was that guy that had to go out in the
Mhm.
middle of summer, June, July, August, September, October. It's 147 degrees out in the concrete, and you're gathering up the carts and bringing it in.
Mhm.
I was that guy out at Luke Air Force Base commissary, going out there,
120 degrees.
and it was on the blacktop. It's even it's even hotter. I mean, 140 plus on the blacktop. You're out there gathering carts. It's the folks just so kindly left out there for you.
If we're honest about it, in some way in life, we've been that guy.
I don't know
And
that I have
if-
been.
If
I
you think
try
about
not to
it,
be. Okay.
I don't know how I've been that guy, but
Uh-huh.
I'm not so presumptuous to think that I haven't accidentally been that guy,
Okay.
or I haven't, without thinking, been that guy. I'm not saying I'd ever on purpose be
Oh,
that guy. And
I
if
feel
anybody
the same
says,
way,
"Hey,
yeah.
Jeffrey, you're being that guy," I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to be that guy." I'll fix what I'm doing because I enjoy being a
Yeah.
member of this society
Yeah.
for the most part.
And so,
Just saying. Can you
Okay.
think of any way you've been that guy, Keon? Like you're like, oh crap! You just realized I'm that guy.
I mean, not off the top of my head. If you gave me some time, I could think of probably more than a handful of examples. But it's part of being that guy sometimes that you don't notice you're that guy until it just slowly dawns on you. Or if you have good friends, they'll tell you, "Hey, actually, I do." When I was in college, I don't think I did it on purpose. I just didn't have like a ton of friends in high school, and I had more friends in college. So I was just, excited to have all these people that liked me. So whenever, we'd be talking about stuff or people would tell a story, I would always tell one related story too. And I had one friend that was like, "Hey, you sound like you're one-upping everybody." And I was like, "Oh no, that's not what I intended to do."
You were that guy.
But I was that guy because that's exactly what it sounded like. And I learned to stop doing that.
I had a similar thing to that when I was in high school, and I realized how good I was at cutting people down. And I always thought it was just good sport. I thought we were all having fun, razzing each other, picking on each other. And this one kid said something to me, and I just like said something, and I just thought, okay, that was all fun. And this girl came to me later. She's like, "Do you realize you just destroyed that guy? He looked up to you, and now you have hurt him down to the core." And the first thing I said was still true. I'm 16. He should not be looking up to me. But second, I realized I'm not going to have very many friends if I use this power for evil. And I realized be a little more considerate with the people you care about. Trash everyone else. And, so at that moment, I was that guy too. But here's the way I was that guy just this. I got myself a new truck, and I haven't figured out the controls yet. And I spent the entire week going, "Oh, my fog lights don't work." It turns out that was not the fog light button. I was blinding people behind me with the cargo light.
Oh
no.
So every now and then I'm driving down the road and I'm like, why don't my fog lights work? And I see my reflection of my vehicle in like a truck in front of me. I'm like, click, 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 click. Why is this not click, click? Why is it not working? And behind me, I'm not seeing the cars. Blinded by my cargo lights. I was that guy this week. Randy, you can't say you're perfect. You can't say you've not been that guy.
I'm far from it. Far from it. Yeah. I
Well,
can't think of any time right off the top of my head, but I'm sure there has been times I've been that guy.
You know what that means? You're still that guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We just
I'm
don't
sure
know.
I am.
We haven't figured it out yet.
I'm
That's all
sure
right.
I am.
Or maybe not. Randy, you're a good guy. Hook'em Hottie says, never been that guy, but I've been that girl. And not the 70s TV show. I'm annoying about grammar.
Oh
yeah, you're that guy. You are that guy. Straight Striper says, it's okay to be that guy when you're saying green tea or tequila shots for everyone. No, you're a great guy.
Yeah,
And
that's a
listen,
great guy. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of any kind of mixed drinks, but damn, what you gave us was great. I mean, I know as far as the manliness thing, I just prefer straight whiskey. I prefer regular beer. I don't need flavors, this, that, or the other. But also, there's some amazing tasting mixed drinks out there. You know, that's just the absolute truth.
Sure.
And he came up and offered me free alcohol, which absolutely contradicts how I feel about mixed drinks. So I said, yes, sir. Thank you. And it was great. Remember, Randy, those were good.
Yep. Those were
Green
wonderful.
tea or
Yeah.
shots were something else. Fecal Miss says, sorry, Randy, but I am going to bag on Kyler Murray too.
Okay, go ahead.
I regularly observe Kyler behind the line, scared of being hit.
All right.
Going down with a defender 2 steps away, then blowing his knee out, running half speed. It was a non-contact injury. You are
Okay.
correct.
Yeah.
He says, am I wrong about this?
I don't know.
He asked Randy. He asked Randy first.
Oh, I have no idea because I don't know if Kyler was running at half speed or not. It looked like it was running full speed to me, and he was making a cut. So
yeah,
looked like it's me.
It didn't even look like a cut. It just looked like it just gave out.
Well,
Like,
yeah, it looked like he was trying to make a cut, like he planted his foot, and that's what broke his knee. But what do I know? I mean, I root for the Cardinals. Obviously, I don't see all these deficiencies in the Cardinals that everybody else sees. So
I was going to agree with Randy. I didn't think he was running half speed. He did put
I
his
think
foot.
he ever got to get to full speed because he hurt himself.
Yeah, I mean, it was a few yards, but it was just like he was getting up to speed. Like I thought he was running as fast as he could run at the moment he was running.
He
and he
was
put his
getting there.
foot down, and the turf, you know, his foot looked like it just stuck there. And then obviously that's how you tear your ACL. But I will say about the, you know, he's afraid of getting hit. That's absolutely true. And
you would be too, man.
Yeah, I kind of blame Keim for that. That offensive line gets people hurt. And I watched because the Houston Texans came into existence while I was living in Texas, and David Carr was the quarterback. And I remember that offensive line was terrible. And by the end of the season, I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback so punch drunk in my life. The guy was terrified of his own shadow by the end of the year.
Yeah.
You can't put quarterbacks behind bad offensive lines and expect them to just be brave all the time. Eventually, the hits from 300-pound dudes add up.
David Carr, you know, they really missed an opportunity with him. What they should have done is had him play without a helmet. And when these defenders would try to grab him, and his oil slick hair, they slip right off. They really blew that.
It's always been that oily too. Why?
Jesus. Mr. Wilbur says, I'll take super short quarterbacks for 200, Alex. Boston College. Who is Doug Flutie? Thank you. Big George says, question for Jeffrey. When are you going to take your rightful place back as the voice of the Kasai Japanese Steakhouse? He says, I mean, your wife did a good job in the commercial, but it doesn't have the same pizzazz of yours. Well, I was out of town, and that's just some professional voice woman. But I appreciate that, George. I offered. I says, hey, you want me to make one when I come back? Crickets. Nobody answered the email. So I think they're just done with me. They're done with me as a spokesperson.
I don't think that's the case at all because Radio Ron in one of his many communiques said we'll have Jeffrey make one when he gets back. So.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Okay. All right. So now I got to be like, I don't want
to. Now, Jeffrey, don't be that guy.
I'm going to be that guy. Against the Spread says, forget that commercial and those short future odds on the NCAA tournament championship. Right now, you have to look for value. You want a team that has the talent to win 6 games in a row, but you need value. Kentucky is that team. It's my best value pre-tournament play right now at 45-1. Thank you, Against the Spread. Everybody write that down. Kentucky.
That's a good one.
Yes, thank you, Against the Spread. Kiss the Cook says Long Island iced tea or derailers. Excellent. Tell you what, one day I met up with some work people, and I was not in a good mood. And they said, here, have some iced tea. And I'm like, all right, I guess I don't like iced tea. No, you'll like this. And I didn't even know it was Long Island iced tea. I drank 3 of those. I don't usually feel it. I was
away.
Feeling it then.
Yeah.
That was nice too. I was like, I gotta do this more often. Texts in and says, as far as band text your nicknames, I'm curious if Wonderlick would be allowed. I'll allow that one. And it's just Wonderlick. Wonderlick says, yeah, I think so.
Short enough
by
to the point,
itself.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it would be. Write that down on the list, Randy. I think
All right,
that's
will do.
It's a fine option if we decide we need that. By the way, so what's the deal with Aaron Rodgers? Has he came out of that dark hole and he saw his shadow and now it's like 6 more weeks of dating ugly girls and doing drugs.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Saw his shadow, and now it's 6 weeks of what the hell's Aaron going to do? That's what it is.
And that's what Brian Gutekunst is saying. He's like, hey, until we speak with Aaron Rodgers, all options are on the table, meaning they're going to be looking at what is available in free agency. I don't know that they're any kind of draft position for any kind of quarterback, but you also have old Jordan Love sitting there. I mean,
and Jordan Love's
they
the
think
guy,
he's ready to start.
Yeah, they seem more comfortable with him now than they did a year ago around this time when they felt like they had to make a decision. They were panicking, when they gave Aaron Rodgers that contract and gave him all that money because they didn't think Jordan Love could play. And I think a little bit more time sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, just absorbing the system, they feel a whole lot more comfortable. So if Aaron wants to go, they'll move in a direction and it'll be Jordan Love's team.
Everybody seems to think that Aaron Rodgers is heading for the Jets.
Well, that's all the speculation, but do we really know what's going on? I don't think so. I'm not going to be one to just speculate that he's going to the Jets. Hell, he could end up in Las Vegas for all I know. Who knows what's going to actually happen? Aaron Rodgers knows.
Vegas would make sense because his old pal is over there, the guy he knows how to throw to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even speculate on Aaron Rodgers because the dude he's high. He's nuts. He's got, I don't know what's going on with that guy. He's a crystal rubbing, Birkenstock wearing, greasy haired, drug taking, State Farm commercial making quarterback. And
I don't know that is he doing the State Farm commercial?
He is a complete hippie. And yes,
Huh.
he did last year.
I haven't seen one.
He did.
Oh, yeah, it was dumb too. All right. So remember we talked about greasy old David Carr? Well,
Yes.
Derek Carr.
Yeah.
This is just strange to me. The Panthers and the Saints and the Jets, they're all going to meet with Derek Carr at the scouting combine. Is he taking the test again? Does he think he's being drafted? Is he
I think
running
it's just,
the 40?
I think it's just a central meeting point. A lot of people say that a lot of deals happen at the combine because you've got general managers and head coaches in the same proximity. It's kind of like the owners' meetings. You've got all the owners and GMs there. It's kind of like the baseball offseason meetings where you got a lot of GMs and managers there and things are happening. So it doesn't surprise me that he's going to be there in Indianapolis.
So everybody probably is figuring once we knew what Aaron Rodgers is doing, then everyone else will figure out what they're doing. That's probably a reasonable thought process.
I mean, I would imagine at least the Jets, because Keon, you probably have a better take on this, but I would imagine at least the Jets are holding their cards to see what Aaron Rodgers does. I don't know about the Panthers. I don't know about the Saints. I would say no. The Bucks are in need of a quarterback. The Titans are in need of a quarterback. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what Keon says till after the break, because well, we have to. And Randy sounds like he's Max Headroom again. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
We are ready to duel in the desert.
Is there anything better than the sound of 3 races breathing life into a new NASCAR season? What about if it's at a state-of-the-art facility with stunning views of the Estrella Mountains and a famous, only one of its kind hillside? Well, then you must be talking about Phoenix Raceway. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 10th through the 12th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Remember when you could go to the doctor and actually leave feeling better? Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Katz. The problem with our healthcare system is the focus on the system and not on your healthcare. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum healthcare using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men and women's health. We help people find relief when other doctors have failed. Our naturopathic doctors can restore your pain-free life using cutting-edge regenerative treatments. We can also help restore balance to your immune, digestive, and hormonal systems. Addressing your cause can also improve both mental and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working for you, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call us. We're the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, Arizona at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161, or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
We know how it goes. You can't always tune in and hear your favorite shows and hosts.
Dude, look, I'm a loser. Okay?
It's cool, bro. That's why we post podcasts of your favorite shows and hosts. Listen when you want to. Listen on demand.
That is great and frankly kind of amazing.
Go to 1580thefanatic.com to download.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and we got some college basketball for you here. Tomorrow night, we got GCU at Southern Utah. Then on Friday, GCU again at Utah Tech. And then on Sunday, you got the Big South Championship in the morning and the Pac-12 Women's Championship at noon, contractually obligated. And, of course, Thursday at 5 p.m., we got Michigan taking on Illinois. So there you go. There's all the college basketball that's happening here on 1580 The Fanatic this week. Let's get caught up on the text line before we get to Big George's sports history. Mr. Pink Eye says, will meteorologist Randy White be going to Flagstaff to give us live weather reports?
I don't think so.
I still think it's the dumbest damn thing. You've got people standing outside. It's as cold as you think it is. And blizzards and storms and mud. We don't need that. You know, there's plenty of camera. You stick the camera outside, and then you have the guy inside. He's like, I'm comfortable here in the truck, but I'll tell you what, out there, it's horrible.
Be looking for a weather chopper 1580 to buzz a highway near you as we head up north.
This is simply not going to happen. But if you want to fill us in on the current state of weather and things here in the valley, Randy, well, you're more than welcome to.
Well, I mean, I can. We've got a storm coming into the valley. It's already started. Some clouds overhead as we talk right now. The temperature getting down to the mid 30s. In the outlying areas, you could see freezing levels. Make sure your succulents are well taken care of. Who doesn't want to take care of their succulents? Currently under mostly cloudy skies as the sun starts to sink. 62 degrees tomorrow, 59, and about an 80% chance of thunder and lightning and rain falling in the Valley of the Sun here. And then we'll back up to 59 on Thursday this weekend, 64, 69, and 72. From the 1580 The Fanatic Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Randy White, back to you, Jeff. Go.
And it sounds like you're in a helicopter. Let's go back to the text line. Choro says, sorry to join the conversation late, but how does Bryce Young compare to Kyler Murray coming out of college?
I think he's a much more polished player. I think because he's played in a pro style offense. And I think that's huge.
Bryce Young is.
Bryce, yeah. I think he's going to be more NFL ready. I think when Kyler came into the league, there was an idea that he was going to take some time to get up to speed in the NFL because, you know, the talent was there, the speed was there. And I think, you know, the intelligence was there, but the spread offense that he was in and Lincoln Riley's system is effective in college, but it's less complicated. So you have to learn all of the NFL verbiage and terminology and all of that coming in. I think that with Bryce Young, he'll be able to come in and do that a whole lot faster because of the offense that he played in.
Shooter McGavin says, Jeffrey, are you the guy that sees the lane, merges ahead and gets over, or tries to go up as far as possible and then cut in front of everybody else? There's a sweet spot. Sometimes you can go over too soon and then everyone else on the planet is passing you and cutting in. You don't wait till the last minute, but you don't need to do it immediately. There's a fair sweet spot, and then once you're there, I let one guy over. So no, I'm not that guy, Shooter McGavin. Blissful Hayes says Cardinals should trade Kyler Murray for Aaron Rodgers if they want to win. There's no way, like 0% chance that the Packers take that deal. 0%.
Yeah, why? Why? They already have a quarterback that they like. They got to see him.
Against the Spread says, I always leave grocery carts out. I actually push them towards the street so homeless, drug-addicted tweakers can get a new mobile drug weapon wagon there. It's a brave new world, fellas. You got to take care of the community. All right, that's one way of looking at it. Big George says, Randy, is that some pineapple pizza you're eating over there? He likes pineapple pizza. I like pineapple pizza.
Yeah.
I don't know why people get upset about what's on somebody else's pizza.
I'm not upset about it, but I'm not a big fan of the pineapple pizza.
You know what we should do? Let's just get this going. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1986, King Angelar, Dale Barra, Enos Campbell, Keith Hernandez, Jeffrey Leonard, Dave Parker, and Lonnie Smith, known as the Cocaine Seven, were severely disciplined for their prolonged pattern of drug use and distribution of drugs to others in the sport of Major League Baseball by Commissioner Peter Ueberroth. Back to me, Jeffrey.
It's like the Magnificent Seven, but the Cocaine Seven.
Yeah, it was the Cocaine Seven. Yeah,
it was a very paranoid seven. And here's the other thing that was interesting about that. They called them the Cocaine Seven, but 21 players were all penalized.
Yeah, but the seven they're talking about were the primary guys that started. They were the sort of the kingpins, I guess, if you will, of this organization.
And they got off, a little easier. The commissioner dropped their season-long suspension after they agreed to donate 10% of their base salaries to drug-related community service, wherever they played, and in the cities they played. And they had to also submit to random drug testing, do 100 hours of community service, that sort of thing. But wow, yeah, the 80s were a cocaine kind of time, weren't they?
Sure was. Yeah,
I never messed with the devil's dandruff, but boy, doing stand-up comedy, I saw plenty of it. More piles on plates than you'd imagine. And I'd be sitting there and I'm like, all right, listen, we barely make enough money on the road. How are there piles of cocaine here? You know? I never understood the economy of how that worked out, but I was like, I'm my own damn business. And I'm leaving immediately now that I see the piles of cocaine on plates because I don't want to be that guy. You know, the guy in prison crying and wishing his ass didn't hurt guy.
Yeah.
Against the Spread says, I am feeling Villanova on the money line tonight, by the way, at Hall. This team is finding their stride and next week could win 4 games in 4 days in the Big East tournament. Against the Spread.
All right.
He's spouting knowledge and good ideas for betting. Thank you, Against the Spread. Beer Bob says, were the Cocaine Seven responsible for Cocaine Bear? I heard that movie's based loosely on a true story.
It is based loosely on a true story. And no, Cocaine Seven were not responsible for Cocaine Bear.
Well, maybe not directly.
Well,
but maybe that was their brick of cocaine that fell out of that plane.
That is a good point. Yeah.
You never know.
True indeed.
You never know. So Pete Carroll, he would be a great politician. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody says, hey, Russell Wilson would say, he tried to get you fired, and how do you feel about that? And he's like, I'm good with Russell Wilson. You are so full of crap, Pete Carroll. Yeah, he says, well, I'm always going to hang with the players that I've coached. I'm never going to leave them. I'm going to be there at the end. All the good stuff, all the bad stuff, I'll still be there with them. That's it. I'm just hanging. Doesn't matter who the guy is. And he's just saying all these nice things. And inside his head is, yeah, I'll be there at the end. I'm going to hold your head down in the toilet, you son of a bitch. You're not coming up for air.
I don't know.
Why do you think Pete Carroll keeps in such good shape? Because he's ready to drown a guy in a toilet.
He'll
get his revenge.
That is one way of handling it.
Let's ride.
I do think that Pete Carroll can also be the guy that takes the high road, just lets the water roll off his back.
That is too high a road when the guy tries to fire him.
Yeah, but he lost. I mean, Pete Carroll is the guy in that standoff that won. The team had to choose between the quarterback and the coach, and despite the fact that the coach is nearly 70, they chose the coach. That's a massive win.
There's a risk that Sean Payton shows up with the Broncos, fixes Russell Wilson, and now that spotlight falls back on Pete Carroll. Oh, he was fixable, Petey. He was fixable. And now look, who looks wrong now?
Not the guy that fixed Geno Smith.
That's a good point. Yeah,
it's a little tough. It's a little tough to feel bad about Russell Wilson and whether or not he was fixable. It's like, no, we got Geno.
Yeah, Geno Smith made the Pro Bowl. Russell Wilson, he got a teriyaki bowl. There was nothing going for him. There's nothing going for him. All right. Well, I still think that Pete Carroll should be. He should absolutely be a politician, but he's so damn old. Once he's done with football,
Yep.
Of course, compared to Biden,
Well,
just
there is
really
that, right?
young. Nondescript texts in and says, "How come certain years of Sun teams don't have any cool cocaine nicknames?" Well, which ones would you be thinking? I don't remember the Suns having cocaine issues. Was that everything for the Suns, Randy?
I think there was a time when a few players got busted for the cocaine, but I can't remember.
And that might have been
when that was.
That might have been the 80s when everybody in the NBA.
Hey, speaking of cocaine, Michael Irvin. I guess I could just stop right there and just
you could.
That could be the punchline of a joke. Yeah.
He's starting to look more and more innocent, to be honest. Here's the deal. The Marriott people, they're trying to dismiss his lawsuit. He's suing them for $100 million, saying, well, you guys just got me in all kind of trouble and I've been railroaded here. This is not right. His people have requested a video. The Marriott people have resisted giving up the video. They would, if any of these claims were true, would support the claims the Marriott made originally. They are looking worse and worse. And this is looking more like poor Michael Irving whatever happened wasn't what we all thought might have happened. And this is just ugly. And of course, then the Marriott's like, well, that's owned by some individuals. That's not us. They got the Marriott name on it. So there is going to be a burden of responsibility there. But they're saying, and this is what they've said, they've never publicly said it. They said that Irvin made some harassing and inappropriate comments. So he didn't grab her. He didn't touch her. He just said some things. All right. What were those things? And if there's video, let's see that video. The fact that the Marriott is holding back stuff really gives more credibility to Michael Irvin's claim that nothing happened.
Well, he doesn't remember the interaction at all. So if he said some stuff,
sure. But why would they hold back the tape then?
I don't know.
That employee, that hotel, whether in Marriott name, there's still a burden of responsibility because that is a partnership, an association, a franchise, whatever you want to call it. Now everybody's on the hook. So it seems like somebody went off half cocked there. And, decided to, oh my God, Michael Irvin did the thing. This girl said this thing. He did. And then the NFL's like, oh my God. Well, Michael Irvin's going to be able to sue everybody. He deserves to be made right. In legal terms,
absolutely.
He deserves relief.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if in fact he didn't do anything, which we still don't know. I'm not willing to exonerate him just because the Marriott doesn't release the tape.
Fair enough, but every turn, the way the Marriott has handled this situation, it's leaning in that direction. I could be wrong. Maybe they're like, fine, here's the video. You hear some stuff, and we're like, oh my God. And then we're like, Michael Irving should never leave the house again. Yeah, that could happen.
And maybe the video doesn't even have audio. Like there's a lot of stuff there that's just I have no idea.
We still don't know a whole lot here, but this is why at the very beginning we were supposing some things, but it was also being said, and very loudly by Randy White, we don't know anything. And whatever Michael Irvin did or didn't do, and it seems a little bit hinky the way this whole thing has been done and portrayed. And you could see it from both lenses. The lens of Michael Irvin, I didn't do nothing. I'm all of a sudden I'm getting canceled all over the place. Or the other angle, oh my God, Michael Irvin is a crazy man, and he's come in here and he started all this nonsense, and he's this poor gal. You can see it from both lenses. But the one lens that we should have always seen it from is till we have all the facts, we can't know for sure.
Yeah. And that's why
Yeah,
I think the NFL made a decent decision and said, look, we're pulling you from the Super Bowl coverage. We're not firing you. We just want to let everything sort itself out first.
But that's so embarrassing. You may as well have fired him. You know what I'm saying? That's
that's
a
gonna be
kick
black,
in the face.
That's going to be sort of a black eye on him for a while.
But they have to pick an entity. Either they're going to try and support Michael Irvin or they're going to support themselves. Because if they didn't pull him and it turns out he did in fact do what he is accused of doing, well, then why didn't you pull him if you had information? So
ultimately, side of caution.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Irvin has done far more embarrassing things in his life if he turns out to be innocent than this.
True. The Lock says Richard Dumas loved him and he loved Coke.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. Heavy Metal Maniac says the cocaine sons of the 80s got some players traded. I believe Walter Davis and Moore, possibly. Wow, I love your guys' memory on that stuff. Maybe because I was doing cocaine. I don't remember that. Joke, I've never done it. All right, guys, that's all the show we have. We'll be back in your radios again tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200